on Canva. I like this. Dude, I look how professional you look. Now, you said you got new headshots.
I did. They're
I'm excited
rocking.
for new headshots. Yeah.
They rock.
They rock. We like they rock. I love it. This is you. Yeah, I love the pearls. You've got that pen. You're ready to sign some papers that are going to either take over a large company.
That is an acquisition face. If I've
That
ever
looks
seen
like
one.
an acquisition face. It is. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only KALUOHS. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. How was your
Live in
holiday?
person. I'm happy to be back. I have been. I've been way too many. I can't floss while sitting, so I had to alternately go to this. But I'm happy to be back in Orlando. I
Yeah.
was in Washington D.C. most recently. I did some training for my.
We love
mobile
Washington,
job.
D.C.
Yeah, it was an interesting place.
How's the weather up there right now?
Chillier than here, but
Really? Yeah, I imagine so.
yeah, brisk.
The District of Columbia with no ability to vote, you know.
Womp womp.
Sorry, how's the food? I always ask about the food.
Food was good. I was lucky to have some great options within walking distance,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
included
nice.
wood-fired pizza,
Ooh.
sushi, and just down and dirty, no frills Chinese
Wood
takeout.
fire pizza?
Yeah.
You gotta love, that's one thing about Chinese takeout. It is consistent, exactly the same. The menu is almost identical across the whole nation.
Oh yeah. The level of sauce. They just all got together and it was like too much. Yeah.
Too much? Yes, it's too much.
Exactly,
Fantastic.
too much.
Sign it up. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want an overabundance of sauce.
If you walk out and the takeout container is like, this feels like 8 meals,
Yeah.
then
Most of it is sauce.
exactly. Bingo. Sauce and broccoli.
Were you up there for the holiday? Were you up there for work? Were you up there for both?
I was up there for work, which I was
Okay.
hoping to keep away from the holiday, and
Gotcha.
didn't realize how close it was.
Right there.
Yeah, so I actually ended up changing my return trip so
Okay.
that Jordan could go down early to Fort Myers, then I could meet them down there. So I got to see a whole new
Nice.
airport.
Man, you were just jet setting.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
I was bing, 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 yeah.
Like a
And
professional woman.
connected through Atlanta.
Oh,
So
fun
it's
times.
not a real trip unless you connect through Atlanta.
That is very true. Hope you guys are having a good one. Let us know how everything looks and sounds. We rely solely on the feedback of you guys to let us know that we're bringing you the utmost of professional experience. But we're here.
Trying to pop my collar.
I love it. You almost have a collar. There's a little bit of a collar there. So things have been good. You've been moving and grooving. Everything was good. Good holiday. Good. What is your? We were asking this on the Friday night show. What is your go-to Thanksgiving side dish?
Ooh, that is tough because sides are really the stars of the show. People want to say it's the meat,
Thank you.
but really it's that kind of
Yeah.
combination of
That
how
is
you
true.
choose your own adventure.
People are like, oh, the turkey and stuffing. I'm like, easy. I'm like, consider your alternatives. You know, what does it take to be the best dish? Doesn't have to be the main dish. Could be, but dude, the rock stars of Thanksgiving.
100%. And you nailed it with the stuffing. I think you have to be kind of a stuffing snob, though,
That's true.
because you can't have too mushy or too
Oh,
dry
man.
of stuffing. It really has to be in that sweet spot.
Do you stuff your turkey with stuffing? Is that what it was supposed to
I think
happen?
That's what was supposed to. That's where.
But
the
people
name
don't
comes
do
from.
that. Stuffing is
I would
normally a
hope not.
side.
Yeah.
It's like, do we stuff the turkey with the stuffing? Why is it called stuffing? What did we stuff it? What did we stuff with the stuffing if it's not the turkey?
Well, I think what happens is when there's a bird
Okay,
with a big
gotcha.
hole in it,
Okay.
where you took the things that were in it out,
Gotcha. That makes sense.
and then you stuff the bread and things back into it.
The restuff.
Then you cook it.
Okay.
And then you shake it like a
Okay,
pinata,
Polaroid picture. Okay.
like a pinata.
Okay,
and then
I got that.
The stuffing pops back out of the turkey is my imagining. I've never made it that way, but I imagine that's the origin of stuffing.
Yeah.
But then they made stuffing where you didn't have to fist a bird.
Yeah.
That's actually how
It's
you
true.
do it, though. There's no other way to get the stuffing in there. Statistically.
Listen, these are professional methods, guys. You know, relax.
And that's what I've seen too.
We're
That
professionals.
stuffing is called dressing in the South, and
Oh,
that
yeah,
has
for sure.
confused a lot of us Northerners.
For sure. When Chef Dane Brevoort was here with Anthony, he told me he had to refer to it as dressing, or the person who inspired the recipe would hunt him down. He was like, it is not stuffing, it is dressing. And I was like, you got it, no
It's
problem.
too visual for them.
Yeah, I was like, you got it. No problem. We can't
There's
handle
a bird
it.
and there's some dressing. That sounds much more Southern ladylike. We ain't stuffing nothing.
We ain't stuffing
Stuff our
nothing.
faces.
There's some dressing.
Bless your heart.
That's right. Bless your heart. It's good to see you guys, Kyle. Good to see you. Good to see you, sir. All the way from Holland, baby. Thank you for the help on Friday night. Michelle Hess, good to see you. Mr. Cole Watson from Jasper. From Jasper? Is that what it is? Jasper, Georgia? Is there a Jasper?
You have to say it as
Jessup.
Jasper.
Might be Jessup. Is there a Jessup?
I'm sure there's both.
A Jasper,
cousins.
a Jasper and a Jessup. They're definitely related. They're absolutely related. So the holidays we're kind of hitting a stride. So we hit Thanksgiving, and I've heard question for you. When does your Christmas season begin? When does Christmas begin for you? This is a very arbitrary answer. There is no right or wrong. Everybody has their own opinion, but I'm interested. When does Christmas begin for you guys? When is it Christmas season? You know, not Christmas Day, but you know, like sometimes Halloween comes and boom, Christmas trees are up. People are like, easy. And then it's like a week before Thanksgiving and people are buying all their Christmas stuff. They're like, hey, wait a minute. It's like, when does Christmas season start for you?
For me, maybe I'm a little bit more traditional than people who are like living with their lights up year round nowadays. But
that does happen.
I would probably start celebrating maybe December 1st.
Okay.
Because then it really feels like the holiday of that month for me.
I got that.
And that's how I'm celebrating the whole month.
Oh,
where
yes.
the way that as soon as November 1 hits, you're thinking Thanksgiving. October 1 hits, you're thinking Halloween.
Yeah.
So for me, December 1 would cue
That would cue it.
December, you know, Christmas music.
December 1, you're like, hey, it's not November anymore.
Right.
It is December.
You tore off the calendar page,
Yeah.
and now you see that next.
Yeah, when you see December,
holiday.
people think of Christmas right away. They don't think
That's
of
what I would
Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving was a couple days before that's done. It's in
Exactly.
November.
If we're going old school calendars, I'm still looking at November. I'm still seeing Thanksgiving, so
That's
I got
true.
to give it its credit.
Once you're on the December calendar, then there it is right there. You're like 25th.
That's how some of us used to get our information, kids.
Really?
We tore off the calendar
I
page.
remember
and said,
that.
That's the next date of that. There was
There
no
it is.
Googling when is Christmas this year. You
No.
had to flip the page in the
Yes.
calendar.
You had to turn all the pages and go, okay, October, November, December, Thursday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
a Wednesday. There it is. Okay, cool. No, that is very true. We were asking this weekend. I was asking because at my parents' house we had like a collection of different generations of people. You know, so I was just asking everybody like, when does Christmas begin for you? When does it begin for you? When does it begin for you? Sometimes one of the answers is the first day it's cold. It's Christmas season. And I went, well, there was like one day in October that it was cold. They're like, exactly, that's Christmas season for me. And I go, really? They're like, we just love it.
It's
We
just
love the
creeping
food. We love the lights. We love the smells. We get the candles. We just get everything going. Because they kind of see the Christmas season that encompasses Thanksgiving season as Christmas is not just Christmas Day, but it's Christmas, it's Thanksgiving, it's that whole collection of 2 months, like the season, the Christmas season. And I go, I get that, cool. Well, what about you? I got 2 people that said as soon as they see Santa Claus at the end of the Macy's Day Parade, that signifies it is now Christmas season.
The Macy's Day Parade, let's be real, it's kind of just a Christmas parade. I mean, they're kind of sneaking it in that it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all decorated as Christmas.
Yeah.
It's all just, like, the more and more you watch it, you're like, this is just a Christmas parade.
It's exactly what it is. It's a Christmas parade. It's the whole
It's
thing.
welcome to Christmas
Yeah, it's
on
got nothing to do with Thanksgiving. Everybody is Christmas themed, like all the floats,
All of it.
all
All
the
the
music,
decorations
all
in
the
the background.
decorations. Yeah,
I was like,
it's all. And it's like, let's kick off selling stuff as soon as possible for Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in the day, again, before the great Google, there was a Toys R Us catalog or a Sears catalog, and it was about this thick. It was huge. You would get the Sears catalog, and what I would do is I would immediately flip to the electronics. And that was my introduction to what Sears had for Christmas for electronics was these pages of just amazing things and prices and descriptions. Then you hit the toys. And I was like, no way. Look at all these toys that my hardworking middle-class American parents cannot afford. Like, $700 for that. That's not going to happen. I wouldn't buy that for my kid either.
I just had to explain the Sears Roebuck catalog to Jordan because he had never heard it, and we kind
The
of
Sears Roebuck catalog. Roebuck. That's right.
It was Roebuck, Roebuck, and we kind of inherited something
Yeah.
from his grandparents. They just moved and they were kind of outsourcing a lot
Sure.
of their items. And we got this old soldering iron, which he
Nice,
thought would
nice.
still be a somewhat functional, but this thing was a beast from the 50s.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
bit-
It'll
this
take some
brick.
love. You can get it to work,
And
but
it had the serial number, and it said
Oh, wow.
Sears and Roebuck and Co. And it was so old, and I said, "This is a gem."
Yeah.
And I looked it up; it's not worth much, but
Yeah.
the fact is, it was so of the dark ages
Yeah.
that he didn't know what
like,
this.
listen, Mr. Sears, what happened to Mr. Roebuck? Where did he go?
It's a big falling out, like Hall & Oates these days.
Yeah,
Google
what-
it.
right?
It's actually bad.
It's actually really bad. Like people are like, oh yeah, Hall & Oates. Listen, there comes a time, kids.
She was a rich girl, but it's gone too
Yeah.
far.
The Oasis brothers still fight to this day. Like they fought and fought and fought, and then that was it. It was over, and then it was done, and then they were talked, and then they still fought, and then they fought because they fought, and then they got mad that they tried to get back together after they fought. Now they're fighting over that. It just never ever ever stops. But Hall & Oates, look it up. It's terrible.
Musicians.
Yeah, Sears and
Drama.
Roebuck, man. That's it. That's it. They went at it, baby. It was a dog eat dog, winner take all. It was awesome. Some type of wrestling match, I hope. And Mr. Roebuck, I'm sorry,
I
you
think
lost.
it's arm wrestling.
It might
I
be.
imagine it
Oh my-
over
the
a
whole
catalog.
thing. Yeah. Over a
They
Sears
use
Roebuck
the catalog as the.
That's fantastic. We knew we were going to use these for something. It's like Jordan, your grandmother and grandfather kept this for a reason. This is
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Like that's like the old yellow pages books that they still print to this day. They still print like these massive yellow page
They
books.
only do it for those contests where the men
They
rip
have to
them in
rip,
half.
dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's
Like
the only reason it's
if
still
I
in
can rip,
production.
if I can rip 12 pages, I'm like, I am all that is man. These guys are ripping like 350
Oh, yeah. You
pages.
just
There's
rip it.
rah, rah. Like man, I kind of feel bad because how do you practice? How many phone books do you need? I mean, like when I play guitar, I play a lot of songs. Imagine just ripping book after book after book after book. Like
I wonder if they start with smaller books that they feel like
I imagine
indifferent
so.
about.
That's what
They're
I
like,
would
I've
start.
read this.
This is garbage. This is
Done.
over. Give me the TV. Honey, where's the TV guide? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's like when you take.
He just
you
has a
make
problem.
you make a
Just ripping
to-do
all the
list.
books in the
Oh,
house.
yeah. And you're like you rip it up to feel accomplished. And
Like
then
I'm
you-
done this.
I do.
That's awesome.
Often.
Really?
Sometimes I write the whole list just to tear it up.
Yeah. Sometimes I write down stuff I've already done that day because I'm like, I would have put this
Look
on the
at me
list.
go.
I did do this,
It
and I
came
want
up,
to.
and I still did it
I want to
today.
give myself the achievement unlocked factor. This feel good satisfaction. Exactly. Achievement unlocked. This is done. Blip blip. Make bed. I already did it. Done. I do start my day with that. It brings me peace. It actually brings me peace when I get home. When I leave, it's okay. Like, cool, I just do it out of necessity. But when I get home and I walk into my room and my bed's made, that's the peaceful period right there. I just feel like I have my whole life in order.
Sometimes I do it as a surprise for Jordan, where it's like if he's left, like this morning he went to the gym and I was still at home, and I was like, "Oh, let me
Yeah.
make up the bed really
He's
quick."
gonna
so
like
that I
it.
can-
He's gonna be like, oh,
It's made.
look at that. It's beautiful.
Not the way I would have wanted it, but thanks.
He's like, not bad. I do have some minor adjustments. I have some notes.
Director's notes.
I have just a couple notes. Thank you, but I do have
And
some
scene.
notes. And that's what we talk about, clear communication.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we want. We want to be the best partner for our partner. You know, and that's the way it is. It starts with clear communication. Actually, it starts with the desire to make them smile.
Yes.
And that's what your desire. You was like, I'm going to do this
That's my little
because
love language.
yeah, it's
I
gonna
can make the bed.
exactly
It's
little
like origami with
acts of service. You know, I think love languages kind of came to light. I mean, they've been around for a long time, but maybe in my experience, maybe 6 years ago or something like that, 6-7 years ago, when I first started hearing about them. I was like, okay, cool, and they were very dynamic. It was like, your love language is this or this or this
Oh,
or
yeah.
this, and then the more time went by, people were like, well, I'm kind of 2 of them, and they're like, okay, cool, and then people are like, well, you can actually be a little bit of all of them, and it's like, actually, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's just a
And
guide,
sometimes you
really.
can give as one, but like to receive as the other.
It's different.
And if you
Yeah.
can give to someone, but it's not theirs, then you have to.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the communication. And
100%.
saying, I'm going to do this. Is that cool?
Yeah.
And that, you know.
Like I'm a gift giver.
Yeah.
I like to give little practical things. Not, but if I hear you say, "Oh man, this I'm on my side of this," or "That would be cool to this," or "I wonder if there's this," I go bing bing bing, and I go, "Got it, got it, got it," and I'm like, "Cool, there you go." I'm a problem solver, so I just like instancing. Then I realized, okay, that's gift giving, but it's also to a degree, it's like words of affirmation.
Oh, yeah.
Like here you go. This is for you. Like I'm a physical touch person because you can feel so much energy and communication through touch. But I think it's very interesting, like the 5 languages of love, and like who is who, what is what, and it could change. You don't have to be this one thing. And you're like, well, I guess I'm always going to be this. It's like, no, it's okay. My love language is in Latin. It's a dead language. Well, there's 5 of them. They're all dead. This sounds like a mass homicide of languages.
That might be the case.
We're going to look into that, Cole Watson. Don't you worry. Shoulak and Shoulak. My last name isn't Shoulak. That's the funny part.
Shoulak Holmes is on the case.
Shoulak Holmes. I would be a Watson. I would be Shoulak Holmes. Shoulak Holmes. Stop it.
Middle school, dear Watson.
I would do it. Middle school. Oh man, I think I made a Sherlock Holmes reference this morning. I was talking about twisting facts to fit theories and not theories to fit facts. A lot of that happening. Actually, it's happened all the time. People are like, it's getting worse these days. It's getting worse and better every day. It just depends on your perspective. Some people could have a great day and be like, world's great. Some people can have a shit day, and the same exact day, same exact person 2 feet away from you in the Publix line is like, today's the best day ever. You just never know.
Perspective. Yeah.
It
and
is.
You just beat cancer, and then every day is amazing.
Exactly. That's why you just choose to. Like Cole said, my love language is Latin. It's dead. it's dead. I would like to have the guy from Forensic Files describe a love life, his love life, your love life, like whose love life? Luke and Leia's love life? Like, what are we talking about here? I don't know, whatever love life is going on. The Forensic Files guy, I can hear his voice in my head right now. It's getting crazy. So we chatted about Thanksgiving. Your Christmas starts December 1st.
I would like it to.
Are you a decorator?
I was just having this conversation with someone recently because I customarily would always go back home to Minnesota for Christmas.
Minnesota.
Sorry. I know, right? I get mocked so much for an accent I don't have.
You don't have. You sometimes.
Yeah, I'll
when you
slip
get
into
when you
it.
get when
And I
you
talk
when
to
you
my
get
mom
in
on the phone.
Oh, really?
There it is.
Does she have it?
Oh, they all have it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you just kind of
Gosh.
like
Don't you know? I'll give you the quick lowdown. If you want to speak Minnesotan, you start every sentence with so,
Okay.
and then you end it with you know.
Gotcha.
So I went to Publix, you know.
Really? Okay.
So it
Good
rained,
beginning,
you know?
good ending. Gotcha.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
So this was happening, you know.
Wow. So always with a so, end it with a
You know. And so
I love that.
that's a good one too. And so
And so, really?
oh, it's en.
Man,
And so
I love the vernacular that happens. You're like, we don't even make these decisions anymore.
oh no.
They've just become like,
Kind of like you guys and y'all down
Yeah,
here.
sure.
I really have embraced the y'all. So I, as a transplant of almost a decade
Sure,
in Florida,
sure.
I think I'm entitled to
when
the
was the
y'all.
first, do you remember the first time you used it where you're like, did I just say y'all?
It felt dirty.
You're like, I immediately got soap and I washed out my mouth.
My northern card just kind of like ticked down a box. It just kept.
Everybody in
Every time I
Minnesota
have y'all-
collectively was like, oh, what was that?
And then what really hurts is when you're texting and you make y'all possessive and it's y'alls and
Y'alls?
there's two apostrophes in the same word and you're like, no, it can't, but it is. Y'alls. What's y'all's plan for this? Dead, but it's real.
Y'all's is. What's y'all? There's all
Y'alls.
these apostrophes just everywhere. Y'all's. What is it? YALLS apostrophe S? Y'all's with an
Y
apostrophe?
Apostrophe.
Yeah, that's right.
Y'all.
You all.
And then
And another
LS.
apostrophe L. Oh, another L.
No.
Y'all's or just an apostrophe S?
Y.
Apostrophe ALL
Apostrophe S.
S.
Y'alls.
Y'all's. Yeah, that would make sense.
Y'alls.
Yeah, you all. In what would you need the S for if you all already encompasses a group of
Because
people?
it's possessive. So
It
what's
is, it's
y'all's plan?
y'all's.
Because y'all is just y'all.
Yeah, what's y'all's plan?
What's y'all's plan? Or
Yeah.
what's y'all's
What is the plan
ETA?
belonging to y'all?
What's y'all's
Which
ETA?
y'all's? Listen, our logic is undeniable. Now we have proven this grammatically. Like, how else would we make it possessive?
And I really looked at that text and I said, "This is my life." Click.
This is where we are now.
There it is.
This,
Y'all's.
y'all's is there it is. Yeah,
Y'all's.
yeah. I don't know what you mean, eh?
The A is.
I know what you mean, eh?
A boot. Something about that.
Something about a
boot?
boot. A boot.
That's Canada, but we claim it because we poke into
It's
it.
so polite.
Yeah.
Like we've had Dana Ricker, fantastic musician out of Ontario. We've had him on the show before, and like he's so calm, he's so peaceful, and he's exactly the epitome of what you would think a polite Canadian would be. He's so polite, and he's so sweet, and he has such a gentle voice, and that's exactly how he speaks. Like no problem. If people come in to rob him, they're not even Canadian because Canadians wouldn't do that.
Oh, you forgot one?
He
Hey.
helps them out.
Yeah.
He's like,
Let me get you a bag.
He's like, oh, lift with your legs, not your back. Hey, let me help you with that. Let me give
Oh,
you
let
a
me get the
hand.
door.
Let me get the door for you. You're good. You're good.
So Christmas trees, they come from the place I'm from.
Okay, Minnesota.
So, yeah. So
Okay.
every year I was going home to Minnesota, and it was part of our tradition to decorate the tree. And put the
Minnesota
tree
has
up.
Christmas trees as an export.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Actually, I was just driving somewhere here recently. I think it was when we were coming back from Fort Myers, and they had a big sign and it said Wisconsin trees. And I said, I feel kind of exploited. I feel like these are my people's trees.
What the
And you're
heck?
just like
Yeah.
plastering like Wisconsin trees
Yeah.
like straight from the
This is
source. like-
appropriation.
yeah, those
The
are
cultural.
our
Would that be
trees, like,
cultural appropriation? They're appropriating the culture?
of Wisconsin.
Sounds like
Yeah.
it. What the hell? Why would you do something like that?
You don't forget the
You
remote.
he gives him fresh batteries. Those batteries are actually kind of dying. Eh? Let me
Yeah,
give you a
get
couple more.
fresh ones.
Let me give you some fresh ones. They're rechargeable. Let me get you their charger. Give me a second. Stay right
charger.
there. I'll be right back.
Charger.
Let me get you a charger.
That's the charger. Eh? But another quick difference
and the
between
thief is just like, thank you.
Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Minnesota.
Minnesota's got the low O's and Wisconsin has the nasally A's and they cheer for the Packers. So Minnesota, Wisconsin. I have family in both and I speak like neither.
That was my question. I was like, how many times have you had to make that specific statement, that distinction? Like, this is how you could tell the difference.
Well, my family is actually from Wisconsin. All
Okay.
extended family, my parents, my older brother, all born in Wisconsin.
Okay,
It was
okay.
that our little family unit moved to Ohio, which is actually where I was born and my younger
Okay.
brother, and then we were all raised in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
So people then think, oh, you're just Minnesotan, but it's
Gotcha.
like,
You're like,
just kinda
actually
like
not really.
Midwestern.
Yeah, Midwestern.
In the general Rust Belt.
Midwestern. Kyle says, let me help you load it into my car. Here's the keys. Actually, you know what? It looks like you have way too much stuff. It's not going to fit in that van of yours. Here's the keys to my car. Go ahead and just bring it back.
Oh, let me gas her up for you.
Let me put some gas in it for you real quick. Hey, make sure you put your seatbelt on, eh? You don't want to get hurt while you're stealing the stuff, eh? Actually, I'm going to give you 10 minutes before I call the police. Just go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to tell them you made a right. Go ahead and make a left. Make a left down there. We'll throw them all off. It's great. The whole time everything's tracked with like RFID and Apple tracking pods. He's like, we got you, dude. It's okay. No problem. Takes him back to like the lair where they've stolen everything. And Dana's like, you're welcome, eh?
So they think, ha ha ha. They'll never know.
He's the arch villain of all of Canada. Like, how could you do that?
I'm convinced that Canada is a parallel universe because the only other woman that I know named Sarah Marie Shoulak lives there, and she's my cousin, and she's a redhead, and I think it's a parallel universe because how else could all that exist?
It's just not possible.
Her dad had the same job my dad had. Her mom had the same job my mom has. There's too many coincidences in this world for that not to be the case.
For that whole thing to even be real right now.
It's a hill I will die on.
And I will prove it, and I will go down with the ship.
And even if I don't prove it.
With pride.
They'll never know.
I hear you. Sorry, there's a bit of maple syrup on the remote, eh?
Sorry.
Sorry. Oh, we were talking about stuff. Christmas decorations.
Trees come from where I'm from, and so I never had my own tree.
Really?
Because I never, well, I mean, I did have one, but I kind of loosely decorated, but it was never a big thing for me because it was always that destination and the decorated with the family. And this year, big year for KALUOHS over here, I moved in with Jordan in February, so big new cohabitation situation.
How's it going by now? It's just coming up to December.
It's almost going to be a whole
It's been good.
year.
You're still smiling, genuinely.
I know. Yeah, no bad roommates, and I'm not.
This is what happens when you're an adult. When you're adults, like you realize, wow, this is way easier than it was when I did this 12 years ago,
and you just let people willy-nilly crash and be like, yeah, the couch is $300 a month.
Yeah, right. Hey man, you got to make your money.
We are structured now.
Yeah.
So.
We have structure.
And leases.
So you moved in February. It's November. You guys are grooving.
And even though we don't celebrate the same holidays, he said, I want you to feel like you live here equally. Sure. And so if you want to get a tree, I want you to feel empowered and get yourself a tree. And it was the first time that I was in this new living situation that I said, what would that look like to get something and what would match both of our aesthetics? So we did a little research and we got a palm tree. two palm trees because I didn't want a traditional looking tree when that's like all I'm used to and all I've ever had. And now I live in Florida for over a decade. And so I was just scrolling on Home Depot looking at these obnoxious yellow and teal and all these different holographic, sparkly, obnoxious trees. And he's like, no. And then he looks at it and he laughs at the palm tree. And I said, you like that? I'm getting that.
Bye now.
We're leaving it up all year long.
That's a great idea. It's a holiday tree. It's a celebration
it's so
tree.
Festive, and it has really ambient light. It's green on the top and white on the bottom. It's really nice.
Nice. That's awesome. So you guys going to do some presents around there? Is that what you're going to, like the traditional put the presents under the tree kind of holiday tree?
Well, the latest snafu.
Uh-oh.
If you will.
Is this a public snafu or is this a Shoulak J snafu?
It is the manufacturers of the palm tree snafu.
Oh, really?
Because some of the lights on the bottom, because it came pre-lit, some of the lights have already started flickering without even a week of use. And so now it's this whole situation of I've installed and put this tree up and essentially started my Christmas season early, right? And so now I'm like made Christmas happen. Yeah. Now these lights are flickering.
I say you just roll with it.
And so that's where we do have 90 days for the return policy, and we're thinking about what that means. But I'd have to tear it down, take it back into Home Depot, and then Jordan was like, he's very smart. He's like, well, if you're going to return it anyway, just buy another one. Yeah. And then return the other one when you have whatever. And it's out of stock. It's totally sold out now. And so I'm like kind of stuck with this defunct tree with a little...
It's like Charlie Brown's Christmas tree, though. He was a little sickly, but everybody got around and it was good.
And it's just on the bottom and we can cover it with the presents.
I think it's great.
And ironically, most of the ornaments that are on it right now are Jordan's.
Nice.
Because he gets them from the Marching Knights, the UCF.
Sure.
And so they're commemorative and they're very... and mine are still in storage. Cool. And so in lieu of all of that, it's mostly his ornaments on my tree.
That's awesome.
So, it's a good blending of our
it's a good
lives.
combination. Nice. Are you doing lights outside? Any kind of like festive lights or snowmen or Rudolph or Santa Claus on the roof?
We do live in a condo.
Okay.
And so we have a small balcony.
Little balcony. A balconette.
You walk out and there's the...
Not a balcony.
Oh, I don't think you could turn all the way. So no.
I didn't even know there was a balconette. Interesting.
Imagine going to a hotel where you walk out and it just kind of...
Yeah, like you open the sliding glass door, you take one step and there's the railing.
That's what we have. And it
Gotcha.
barely fits my pineapple.
And
Our
sometimes they have a,
pineapple is kinda
chair, but
outdoor.
it has to fit perfectly like 90 degrees
That's
to the
how some
door.
people have.
Yeah.
But we don't see a point in that.
We
It
don't
just
sit there.
plants, Yeah.
You're just
So-
staring at each other across the balconette
And
because you
most
can't sit
things-
next to each other.
And most things you're not allowed to have on that balconette anyway, because they're going to say that it's a hazard for storms, or it's,
Yeah.
HOA doesn't like it.
Gotcha.
And it's aesthetic and stuff.
Gotcha.
So not outdoor lighting, but definitely what I like is that when the tree is on,
Sure.
the first day that I set it up, it was daytime. So I left and I hadn't turned it on because
Gotcha.
it's daytime, right?
Yeah.
And when I came back, Jordan was already home, and I was driving home and I saw that the tree was on through the blinds.
That was heartwarming.
And it was very heartwarming. 'Cause
You
it
were
wasn't
like-
even his tree. It wasn't even his tree, and he's turning it on for me to come home to.
That's a
It
sweet
was a
dude
sweet
right there.
moment, yeah.
Everybody needs a Jordan in their lives, but hers is taken. Okay.
Started as a house elf. Yeah.
Colin, I'd remember that. We were there for the house elf
That's
introduction.
the origin of.
That was the introduction
That
to
was his
Jordan.
origin story.
I don't think I knew Jordan's name for about a year. You literally were just like, this is the house elf.
house elf.
And he owned it.
Well,
He was like, hey.
we were still trying to hide that we were dating to our coworkers.
Yeah.
So he was not about to out himself either. So he's like, sure, I'll be an elf or whatever.
No problem. Everybody needs to make their money. Listen, if you got to make your money being somebody's house elf,
I think what he's most frustrated by is that he just wanted to clean. And
Yeah.
then that's where this name comes from, is that he was cleaning up after our messes that night, and we just said he was a house elf.
yeah,
And
that's
then we
awesome.
ran with the joke.
Yeah, and it worked. And he owned it.
He did.
And it gave you great cover. It was a good beard for a year until you could announce it to the world.
Yeah, we
Nice.
just kept running into people was the problem.
Yeah, they're like, you're like, that's crazy. What are you doing here? Me? What are you doing here?
It
They're
happened
like,
in the Total Wine of all places. For sober Betty over here. Of course, I run into my coworkers
That's awesome.
in the Total Wine.
Oh
and I
my
was
God.
like, here with Jordan.
You're like, this is
On a Saturday.
Well, this is the thing now. Hello. Did you play it off? Did you
He
just?
was on, the guy that we ran into. He recently just got married. Shout out to Mark and Amber.
Hi, Mark and Amber.
Awesome wedding, and it was pretty funny because we ran into Mark at the Total Wine, and Mark was on the phone with yet another coworker. So we really had the double whammy.
They're like,
of-
hey, we just ran into Sarah and Jordan.
Yeah, it was like, hey Sarah, hey Jordan.
Hey, Jordan.
You'll never guess who I just ran into together. It was a good moment.
Oh, where were you? We were at Total Wine. Really interesting. But you guys have been going strong for 2 years.
It'll be 4.
Holy
On the
smokes!
28th.
Wait, my God, time travels quickly.
Yeah, the whole pandemic
Wow.
stuck 2 years in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
I
just
feel like
add to
the
everything.
Thanos snap, like the blip in
Oh, yeah.
Marvel was 2020. It was like
It's
2020,
good that they
2021 is
released it,
gone.
so we'd have that as a point of reference for
Yeah,
the
people
feeling
get
of
it.
lost time.
People get it. Aside from the fact that half the of all living things weren't taken away, which is good. We didn't have the Infinity Stones, but it does feel like that period of time is just. Whoom.
You know, when we quarantined, though, that whole out of sight, out of mind, Schrodinger's cat, were
sure.
they really there?
Were they? A.
They'll never know.
They'll never know.
That's my new favorite. They'll never know.
So evil.
We've got them now.
Oh my gosh, that's that's Canada. I love it.
Canada.
A.
The Fonz, but
Yeah,
just like a big
but Canadian. You're welcome. Here's the keys to my car. It's like the polite Fonzie.
Well, I've been talking about all my holidays.
Yeah.
What did you do for Thanksgiving?
Oh man, I went to see Mama and Papa Floyd, which was great.
Classic.
My sister lives in North Carolina, and every now and then around the holiday season, when my sister can't come home, she's busy. She's rocking and rolling up there. My mom always gets a little sad. She's like, "Oh man, the family. Do we even want to do anything this year? Like, it just feels." I'm like, "Mom, we got to carry the torch." I know Jenny can't be here, but so we had that conversation the very next day. We're on the phone, and she goes, "We have 11 people coming for Thanksgiving," and I went. That's more like it.
Yeah.
There we go. She loves a big party. She loves to socialize. She loves to bring people in. She loves to cook food for everybody. She just absolutely loves it. To see her looking at a table full of her friends and family with all of this beautiful food and all of these great people just warms her heart, makes it glow.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So I got to go home. Went on Wednesday night. Michelle has joined us as well. Her family is still in Utah, so they're celebrating Thanksgiving up there. So she came over Wednesday night. We did the Patreon show on the highway. We went live and we did our full Patreon show. And we said we would do it. Listen,
Rockin' and rodin'.
we are men and women of our word. So got there Wednesday night, kicked it with Mama and Papa Floyd for a little bit, got up on Thursday. Thursday morning starts nice and early. We got coffee, the Macy's Day Parade, of course.
Classic.
And then we start cooking
And the
right
dog
away.
show?
Oh, yeah.
Do
You
you
got to
stay for
watch
the
the
dog
dog
show?
show afterward, of course.
Fascinating. The
Yo.
winner Have you seen it? That giant, it was like the beast. It looked like a Dalmatian.
It was one of the
but it was like I don't know what the breed was. Please,
It
excuse me.
was awesome to
Your
hear
Highness.
the introductions, what they were talking about.
yeah.
They would show the dog, they'd
And
introduce it,
their
and they'd say
measurements
something.
with
They're so
their
proper.
They're doing this, a lot of this.
Yeah, the first part I saw was like it was like a visual check. They went out, they looked at the teeth, they looked at
That's
the
what I
ears, they
think
looked
they're
at
doing.
everything.
They're doing
Like,
a lot of,
yeah,
touch, measuring the distance from the
yeah.
snout to the chin.
It was very interesting to see like the precision. I'm looking at Luke and Leia, and they just look like they look like mops. I'm like, I would love to take Luke and Leia in there. They would just be losing their minds and running around, just causing chaos. I would do it just for that reason. I'll enter them just to cause chaos. But we watched. That was on while we were kind of doing things, setting up tables and chairs and all that good stuff. Then everybody got over around 3:30. I think dinner hit the table around maybe 5, which was pretty good. And usually those things are gonna last a couple hours. And then one person's like, "Cool, man, gonna get out of here. I've eaten 3 meals.
Yeah.
Like I should have stopped 20 minutes ago, but it's so good. Oh, we didn't get to your favorite side. So we kind of worked through. But this one was just like round after round. People were just like. You would feel the lull, but everybody would bring it back up, so everybody stayed. And then you'd feel a little one. It's like I think statistically, it's like every 7 minutes there's a tiny lull in conversation. So it was like people knew it, and they just popped the balloon back up in the air over and over and over again. And I'm just going, man, look, everybody's like, everybody's standing, everybody's vibing, and they're different people from different places and different houses and different everything's, cultures and places in the nation. It was very interesting. Get everybody together. Everybody could kind of bond over food. And except everybody was like, oh, this and this and this. And cool. Well, I make this differently by doing this, or I make this differently by doing this, which then starts like a social conversation with everybody. But it was great, Nice, easy. Watched a couple movies that night. And then the next day we had our Kitchen Killer show. We did our Thanksgiving leftover special. So Mama Floyd made some, it was day after Thanksgiving holiday soup. So it was just, oh man.
That's a new one. I've seen
it
a
was so
lot
good.
of interesting things on social media of what you can do with your
Oh
leftovers.
yeah. Every year
but
Mama
not
Floyd comes
soup.
out with something new. So when she was here on November 17th for the show for Christine Gopal, she took a poll and she was asking people like, how do they do, or what do they see, or what would they like? And she goes, the most popular answer was soup. And I go, I never even thought of that. I never even thought of that.
No.
Yeah, so it's like you after you carve the turkey, the once you do a good job carving it, everything else would go into like a broth. So and you just let that go for like 2 or 3 hours, which is awesome. Then you take that out, and then all of your ingredients. And I mean, we put everything. We put mashed potatoes in there. We put everything in there. And I didn't know what the mashed potatoes were going to do.
No.
I was like, that's interesting.
I'm already stressed.
Is it going to break down? Is it going to get lumpy? What's it going? It was awesome. It added a little bit of cream to the consistency, and you could still taste it individually.
Interesting.
It was very good. It was really, really
Seems
good.
like some Willy Wonka stuff.
Oh, man.
Like that's it.
And everybody that came brought great
wasn't
food.
That a thing that he had like the whole
Yeah.
Thanksgiving dinner and like
Yeah, that was, and she was going through the courses,
Huh.
and then she got to the blueberry pie, and she turned into a blueberry. You're turning violet, Violet.
Ugh.
She's like, that's
Poor
okay,
memory.
because she loved gum. She was like, no, I know everything there is to know about gum. Home. All right.
That's what
Bye-bye.
being a know-it-all gets you.
Yep, she had to be juiced.
Lesson learned.
That was it. So a lot of the people that came over on Thursday night came back on Friday night,
Sure.
and they brought a bunch of food. So we had Jim and Kathleen, and Jim loves to bake. So Thursday night, he brought all these different pies. This lemon meringue pie was absolutely out of this world. He brought a blueberry cheesecake, which was amazing. And the next day, he brought like 2 other pies as well. I was like, man, what have you been doing? He's like, just making pies. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I bake. She cooks.
Yeah.
I bake. And
That's how Jordan and I.
I was like,
well,
oh,
that's
really?
How I rationalize.
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
still need to learn how to cook, but I
Oh, it's-
primarily bake.
Yeah, bacon's fun. Absolutely. There's a recipe.
It's just not as
Follow that guy.
healthy
Yeah.
or practical.
Oh, yeah, moderation. But I hear you. But you got to have the sweets. You got to bake.
know.
You
Oh,
got to
yeah.
bake.
He never says no to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at peanut butter cookies.
No, who's going to say no to unless you're allergic to it? Nobody's going to say no to peanut butter cookies. Yes, Mama Floyd, I know. She goes, Cairn Terriers are the most aloof dogs in the world. That's Luke and Leia. She was so proud to tell everybody that multiple times. Like, I'm introducing them to Luke and Leia, and people are like, oh, what kind of dogs are they? I'm like, they're Cairn Terriers and Jack Russell mix. My mom's like, fun fact. I'm like, okay, Mom. Okay. Wonka. That's right. There's a new Wonka coming out.
And I had mixed feelings initially when I saw it because I'm
Yeah.
like, how many times are they gonna? It's like Batman or
Because there's
Spider-Man.
Willy
like,
Wonka
how
in the
many
Chocolate
times?
Factory. Then there was Charlie in the Chocolate
But this
Chocolate
is a
Factory.
reboot.
Yeah.
So those were both still kind of following the same,
Yeah.
but from a different standpoint. One
For
was
sure.
following Wonka and one was
One was
following
following
Charlie.
Charlie, sure.
And now this, it really is the origin story. So now I am pretty excited. But
Really?
I really got shocked. Did you see the trailer?
Uh-uh.
That
No,
Mr.
no.
Bean is in it and he's talking. No one seemed as shook as I was when I saw that. And
I thought I'm glad this is not
I
true,
thought
but
he
I
was
thought he
mute.
retired.
I thought he just really didn't talk.
Oh, really?
I never actually.
Oh,
heard
I've heard
talk.
him talk
Well,
before.
he makes like mouth noises.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
that is true. No.
He's just mostly.
And you're like, wait a minute, is he actually talking? Is he actually speaking?
Oh no, I thought he was just nutso and just always made sounds.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like a very articulate person in
Yeah.
this show. Like, he's a very
Oh,
prominent
nice.
character.
Oh, he seems like a brilliant dude. You know, like I
When
think
you have that range.
Oh
it
my
shows,
God, yeah. I mean, the guy's lasted for
like Borat,
decades.
right?
Yeah, he's lasted for decades. Like you gotta be able to move and groove and change and evolve to last that long and to still be recognizable 20,
But
30,
dynamic,
30 years
but
later.
Not to be typecast the
Yeah.
way that some
Oh,
people
yeah.
where, even the Harry Potter cast
Yeah.
is still slightly pigeonholed.
Oh, they always will
but,
be.
But Daniel Radcliffe has done exceptional work for himself to
Yeah.
get out of that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you can get yourself in there. It's possible to get yourself out, but you have to work twice as hard. You know,
Probably
it's
Zac
really,
Efron,
really
too.
tough.
He's just always going to be
Always.
pretty boy.
Yes. Which again, you could be worse things. It's not bad, but also it could be worse. I'm excited to see Wonka. I'll have to watch the trailer. I'll have to check that out.
I mean, some people don't watch trailers. Like
yeah.
Jordan,
Really?
will not watch it because it's just the highlights of all the.
I don't delve into the Reddits. I don't delve into the forums. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to read any spoilers. The trailer I try to watch because I want to see how did the trailer, how did they come up with it? And sometimes it could be completely deceptive.
I think that maybe Marvel and Disney are starting to have trailers that are a little bit more revealing and
Showing
maybe,
too much.
Yeah, and maybe too many of the cool scenes, and because they want your attention, they
Sure.
want you to grip you, and they want you to watch that series until that thing pops up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah,
And
I think
there's
Jordan
been
just
some
likes to go in.
Yeah, blind.
Blank.
I
Yeah.
just want to see it. Yeah, there's been somewhere all the good parts in the movie are in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, I saw all the good parts in the 2-minute trailer that we had. You're like, no big deal. And then you're like, wow, that was really great. You know, they gave you just enough. Or I'll watch a trailer and I'll go, that's not even remotely close to the actual story, which is better than what they're trying to portray in the trailer. Like, are you trying to throw everybody off or what's going on? It could be very confusing. And sometimes they'll take a scene and they'll just flip it. They'll rotate the vertical snap. They'll just go, oh, let's take this and flip it this way. So when you see it in the movie, you're like, that feels familiar, but what's going on there? Why would they do that? It's weird. You know, so I've seen them do that before. It's like, I'm sure there's a method to their madness, which now I'm interested. But it's I'm excited to check that out.
That might be the golden ticket to.
Yeah, that.
I'm trying to.
Gingerbread cookies. Oh, that's right.
Sponsor.
Jim made gingerbread cookies and oatmeal cranberry cookies along with the cheesecake and the lemon pie. Jim, dude, those gingerbread cookies, they were
yeah?
like cake. It was round, delicious cookies, and they just broke like cake. They were so good. And I've had a bunch of gingerbread cookies, but I usually think gingerbread men, they kind of crack, they snap. No. This was just like, oh man, it was fantastic. The oatmeal cranberry cookies, and I've seen oatmeal raisin cookies with a couple of raisins. No, man, this guy went cranberry crazy, and it was awesome. Like, you would break it in half, and there were just a lot of cranberries instead of just
There
two.
was no doubt that it was chocolate chip. There was no worry of what am I
No.
getting in this.
Yeah, zero, not at all.
Clearly raisins and cranberries. Everything wrinkles here.
Everything, 100%, 100%. There was definitely no deception going on. But Jim crushed it. He's like looking for a reason to bake more stuff. He's like, another party? Done.
I tend to do the stress baking, which
Okay.
also happens
Therapy.
probably just as often.
I gotcha.
But for me, when I'm baking, I have to be wholly invested and
Yeah.
present in that one task.
I gotcha.
Because if I miss one step, if I'm off by the percentage or the degree or whatever, so I need to be in it. So
Yeah.
I can't be overthinking my other things. I can't be on my phone scrolling
Yeah, you
social
gotta
media.
be
I
in
have
it.
to be right there. So it tends to be that type of
Yeah.
escape for me.
You're like,
I'm like, everyone's getting a scone, and you're getting a pie, and you're getting a pie.
and I have to be perfect, and I just need to be here. I need to be here. It's tough sometimes too because there's so much to do, and you're like, man, I could have sent 3 emails by now. Like, I wonder what's going on. Does anybody message me? Have anybody done this? What do I need to do? Do I need to check that? Did I get any notifications? I just got a new message. But no, focus. It's like, okay, cool, got it. I got
the
it.
pull is there, yeah.
Yeah, focus. The pull.
Well, the draw,
Yeah.
that
Look it over here. Look
intrusive
over here.
thoughts,
Look
yeah.
over here. Bing, bing, bing.
Oh no, I just turn do not disturb on and
Bing.
throw my
Hit the moon.
Yep.
And throw your phone.
Well, I have a stand.
Okay.
So I throw it up in that stand because
Nice.
that's usually
That's
where
your
your recipe
recipe?
is.
Gotcha.
And then I make it so that my
Yeah, no
screen can't turn
notifications.
off.
So you could just kind of focus on that. Do you listen to music when you cook? Do you just kind of dig with the environment that's going on around you?
It's usually with the music. I tried to do podcasts
Mm-hmm.
and have that, but it was a little bit of conflicting information of me trying to absorb the information because I try and do a lot of educational podcasts
Gotcha.
and less like just entertaining podcasts.
Sure.
So trying to focus on what they're talking about, and then it became a conflict of attention.
Gotcha.
So usually music
like,
or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually
if it's
Jordan's
too,
watching sports or
Yeah.
F1 or football or something, and so there's that competing. So
Sure.
I just focus on the baking.
yeah, you're like, there's a lot going on right now.
Where's the butter?
Yeah. There was a. I wanted to kind of jump into this because I just totally forgot. But last time you were here, we talked about your Delta video, and we were thinking. I was thinking podcasts, videos, performances. What was it? Delta video. That's right. We talked a little bit about this. It's now been picked up.
The bungalower.
Now, what is that?
Oh, the bungalower?
I know, but they may not know.
The bungalower.
What is the bungalower?
For our international friends, the bungalower is a website that's local news here in Orlando, and they tend to write about the stuff that's a little bit more hot and up and coming and cool. It seems like hot and cool. But it's true. And it's
very true. Sarah Shoulak is hot and cool.
Bing. But no, it's good. And they do things that are a little bit more headline worthy. I don't want to say clickbait, but it's kind of clickbait. And so
but also headline worthy.
But there are things that are new and up and coming or shocking, and sometimes it's a little gossipy where it's like, oh, something happened to this business.
Right.
Stay tuned. We'll be the first on the scene.
Yeah.
And so
breaking news here.
They are, and then so they are kind of known as that because another local publication is the community paper. And they're a little bit slower to news because they really actually print a paper and it goes out in a newsletter and it's a little
like
bit
a
more
physical
long format.
print that they're doing.
Yeah, and so news doesn't necessarily break with community paper, but news can break with bungalower. And so I actually had someone on Thanksgiving send me a text of the bungalower link, and she goes,
hey.
"You're famous."
It's true.
It was kind of funny, but I just thought it was really appropriate because Lake Eola is what the Delta video is about. This lake here in Orlando. They're getting new renovations done.
Okay.
And so I thought it was just really appropriate that they would pick up the video and talk about it because Lake Eola is already in the news so much right now, getting these renovations.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So it kind of everything's working out right now.
But it's not much of a piece or an article written about it.
Right.
It's mostly like
Here's the link.
reposted it and they're like, here's some background of because I didn't really go into it where
But still,
it comes from.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's good. I'm always wondering when something like that happens, it's like, what kind of return are we going to see? People are going, man, and you may see it in months. Yeah. People are like, yo, I was on the Delta flight and I was just kind of going through their menu and I found this thing and there you were.
So I have news about that because I've actually been traveling a lot lately. And so I thought I would test it out myself.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm on a Delta flight. And how funny would it be to be on the screen, watching my video of myself?
You're like, hey, you've got the hat on and everything. It's like you. You're like, I would like an extra pillow, please. I'm on your television.
I did think about walking into the Sky Miles, what are the Sky
That's
Club,
me.
and being like, I'm on your promo, so can't you just let me in today? Because I'm not a high enough member to be in the Sky Club, but
you
I'm
are
on
now.
your promo.
Look at this. Yes, I'm representing Delta.
So when you go on a flight, the screen that's in front of you is primarily entertainment.
Okay.
Because they think that you're going to sit there and you're going to watch a movie, or you're going to play a game, or you're going to entertain your kid, or you're going to track your flight and do the flight tracker thing.
I love Flight Tracker.
But that is not where you find this video that I was in.
Okay.
So what they'll do is the flight attendant, you'll hear them say, there's free Wi-Fi for everybody on board. So with any of your devices, whether it's your phone or your laptop, while you're on board, you can connect. If you're a Sky Miles member, which is also free, this isn't an ad for them. It's just how you access it.
This is how you access it.
So if you have a free Sky Miles account, you connect to their Wi-Fi on either your any device.
Whatever device you got.
And so once you do that, then there's a portal that's here's all of our collaborations with our partners like Atlas Obscura.
Oh, sweet.
So
that's even better.
Yeah, so
I
that's
love
why it's
that.
accessible for anywhere on the internet, but the way that they're trying to route you to it is by
Sky Miles.
Sky
And
Miles
Wi-Fi.
account and Wi-Fi while you're on it, but that's why I shared the link because you can really access it from
Just
anywhere.
watch it.
Yeah, because you don't have to be there on the module.
That's awesome. That's super
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
That is really cool. And I mean, and I agree because I think most of the airplanes are doing that now. Most of the airlines, it's like connect to this Wi-Fi. Once you connect to the Wi-Fi, you get their splash page. This is everything for Spirit or everything for Delta or everything for
Southwest was one of the first
Southwest.
that I ever saw do it, where they're like, while you're here, just use our Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I think the first one I experienced was maybe 2015, was on Virgin Airlines. I flew, my friend Jimmy Thomas had a startup out there and he needed somebody with restaurant experience to go out there and help him develop an application, a web-based or a based application for servers to use to get away from POS. This was like 10 years ago.
Classic.
Right? So I was like, so he flies me out there to be pretty much a consultant. I got flew out to California on Virgin Airlines to be a consultant. And we get on this Virgin Airline plane. I'm like, dude, it's like a rock star party in here. Like, this is awesome.
With their lights.
Dude, the lights, the way everything looked. And I sat down, and I had never been on a plane with screens on the back of the seats before. I'd just never seen that. I'm like, this is incredible. I sit down, I'm like, man, the seats are comfortable. Anything you wanted, you would just, oh, I want a Coke, bing, 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 hit Coke, and here they come. They bring it right to you, whatever you want. It was so cool. And I'm like, wow, we can watch movies. We can do all this stuff. I'm like, yo, where's the light controller? Can I control this here? Is that what I can do? I'm like, what else can we do? It's like, oh, we have free movies. We have this. We have advertisements. We have this. We have this. I'm like, man, they don't play. Like, this is awesome. Now, granted, the flight from Orlando to Los Angeles that was a long one.
Substantial.
That was like 6.5 hours. It was a long time. Plus, we're going like back in time.
Yep.
You know, so that's always fun, which is a little easier because you're tired. When you get there, you're like, man, what time is it?
It's been a whole day.
Yeah, and I have perpetual terrible sleep anyway, so it's really no big deal for me. I'm like, everything will be fine. People that have normal sleep time, sometimes they can suffer from the lag.
But I can sleep on planes, and that's also unique. I think that I've trained
Really?
myself that the white noise can just hum me,
Yeah.
like, you know.
I can't
soothe me.
get comfortable.
That's
I've
how
tried. How do
Jordan
you get
can't sleep
comfortable?
sitting up. It's like a
Gotcha. I've
breathing
tried the
thing.
pillow thing, the side pillow thing. I've looked
I
on
think
YouTube the different
my
ways to watch it.
strategy, Start with the T-Rex. Go to the coffin.
The T-Rex to the coffin.
Yeah, so you start like scrunch your your elbows in.
Okay.
And then you just kind of, and if you just like hold yourself, sometimes it's like the crisscrosses down, sometimes
Yeah.
it's up, but I always stay contained because
Yeah,
I
in
don't
your
want
box.
any hint of someone
yeah.
elbow fighting over it. You got the armrest, they're yours. I don't need them. I'm
I'm right here. This is my spot.
I live in the middle
I'm
seat.
a T-Rex. How to get along and sleep well on flights? You start with the T-Rex.
Start with the T-Rex, go to the coffin.
Then you go to the coffin. Stay in your
extinct,
space.
right? Because they're extinct. So
You don't need.
They're not around long.
You don't need the armrests. Start with the T-Rex. Go to the coffin.
Because people like to have a preference of window seat or aisle.
Yeah.
I say middle seat as far up as possible. So I will. I mean, as long as I still have under the front storage.
fine.
Because the very first people don't get
Right.
the feet seat.
No.
So I have to one row back.
Gotcha.
Middle seat. Primo.
You
It's
know
like
what you're
number
doing.
11 or 12.
Yeah.
Comfort Plus.
Man, I do like a good aisle seat. I like that because I like to commiserate.
They run
I like talking to
nice.
people.
I used to talk to people,
Yeah.
and then my voice is so hard to hear.
Yeah.
Because of the white noise.
Oh, frequency is very similar. It's Shoulak cancellation technology. You can't hear her.
Oh, it's brutal. I literally have to be yelling, and then I'm conversing with everyone on the plane. And then, yeah.
Cole Watson says, I go T-Rex and then sachet. He's like, move out of my way, get off my armrests.
What was that? Was that like the Monster
Rochambeau?
Mash
Oh,
or
yeah, the Monster Mash.
Or Rocky Horror?
Is that
giving me
Thriller?
vibes. Oh,
It might be a little Rocky Horror. This is how everybody gets the comfortable seating on their airplane. This is what they do. This is tips from a frequent flyer with all her Sky Miles. That was now aside from the Atlas Obscura, the videos that you've made to represent Orlando. Yeah. On Delta, you've also done some local videos to represent kitchens that we are not crashing this Friday night. We started getting into them. We talked a little bit with our Patreon patrons. And we were having so much fun just kind of talking about it. And I was like, I wanted to show the videos, but I really wanted you here with us. And I go, dude, she's not going to be with us for it's going to be like 3 weeks, but here you
The
are.
suspense.
So we don't have them pulled up, of course. And of course, with your permission, I would like to like to play them and see what we can do here because I think they're going to be hilarious. Now, before we play these, talk to us a little bit about them. There's a 30-second clip. There's a minute clip. Like, how did you put these together? Like, which ones? Where should we start? Let me start that.
Make sure that you're in the right one because it should say clip and not template.
Okay, gotcha. 30-second clip, 1 minute extended clip. Let's see your project.
Roger.
We're doing all the things.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. We do all the things live. That's what we do. Okay, here
so
we
I'll give
go.
you the background
Oh,
of
here we go.
kitchen
Boom,
news.
there they all are.
Kitchen news, the concept is that I'm on location.
Right.
I'm a reporter,
Yeah.
right? I'm a satellite reporter.
Yes.
So I'm out on location. And I should be
Our correspondent.
reporting from where we're crashing. But my notes are messed up, my GPS won't work, and I never end up in the right spot. So it's like Carmen Sandiego, except completely defunct. Just cannot get her job right. But she is passionate, and she is articulate, and she's still reporting live.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. And they're great. Like, I've watched them several times. Should we start with a 1 minute extended, or you want to do a 30-second clip?
Well,
What are you
if
thinking?
you do the extended, then you don't.
It has
need
the 30
it's
second, right?
included in it, so you could
Gotcha.
just run the 1 minute.
Yeah, let's run the 1 minute and then we'll talk about it because this is going to be. I'm just
might be
excited.
both
It's
of
going to
them
be
back to
fantastic.
back.
I think it is.
Yeah.
When I watch it, I think I believe this is. So we're going to pull this up. This is this is Sarah's contribution to whatever we're doing. We don't really know what we're doing yet, but we're figuring it out. And so far, I'm having fun. Okay. So it's good, and I love these. These are going to be fantastic. So it's a let me see, Carmen San Francisco. That's exactly it, Cole Watson. That's precisely it. So let me bring this up. We're going to go ahead and play this one, and let me know if the audio looks and sounds okay. Okay? Okay, here we go.
Hi, Billy. Yes, this is KALUOHS here in the field, coming to you live from a location that is a kitchen, but not where we are crashing this Friday. As you can see, I'm down here in South Orlando, or the Soto district, at Clean Eats, where they are serving delicious food, but it will not be on the menu for Friday. So I appreciate you checking in, getting the report from us out here in the field. Unfortunately, this is not the kitchen we are crashing. We will stay on the hunt, stay vigilant, and back to you in the studio, Billy. Thanks so much.
I love the hand on the ear.
Throughout the day, we have had mixed reviews of our reporting from this location, specifically why we are here, but the owners are very nice. They have given us beverages and refreshments. There's delicious flatbreads and other smoothies and things you can take advantage of here, but like I mentioned, not on the menu for Friday. So thanks for checking in, and
Dude, the voice,
back to you in the studio.
the ladle.
This is KALUOHS. Happy Friday. Today is not Friday.
Clip number 2, mashup. This is with our good friend Nicole, I think.
To find answers.
Hi, Billy. Yes, KALUOHS here out on the scene at yet another kitchen. This kitchen is in the South Orlando Curry Ford West area, and it is of the elusive and illustrious Nicole Schmidt of Just Pie. We even have a little friend here popping out
Kyle.
here on the side. So while this is not on the menu for Friday, we know that these pies are delicious. We have smelled them ourselves. It is so popular, people are flying in to order them. So if you want some pies, you can have them delivered, but once again, not the meal for Friday. Thank you so much for checking in with us out here on the street. We will eventually find the location of the Friday night's kitchen to crash. But in the meantime, stay saucy. Do you have anything to share with the fans at home? Pies. Words of wisdom. And they say the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. We would like to challenge you to say, the best part of waking up is a pie in your pocket. Okay, back to you in the studio.
The best part of waking up is a pie in your pocket. That's fantastic. I love Nicole. She's such a sweetheart.
Pies.
That was great.
Her at the end.
Could not. And dude, I like the what was the caption that you had up there about like Aldi was putting.
Yeah.
This was
real.
Oh, really?
I was in Aldi. I shop at Aldi, and I picked up, and they had these little pie presses, and it was a real hot topic in our group chat. And I sent it over to Nicole and a friend of ours, and I said,
"This is real.
What are we gonna do about this?"
We gotta do something about this.
She goes, "That's junk."
Garbage.
She was just like, "It's all gonna be dough. It's too small to be good." Like it was content. She was not phased, but
Not
it was
confidence.
really just enlightening how popular her trend of pocket-sized pies has influenced a giant distributor like Aldi to sell pie pocket presses.
The Pie Pocket Princess. I love that. Now, before we started the show today, you said you had actually taken a poll regarding what would be funnier to speak into.
I did.
And you had a couple options. Where were you when you did this? Like, walk me through this.
When we recorded that first video, the
Sure.
one that I was...
The Clean Eats one?
It was very loud, if you couldn't tell by the road, because that was before I had a whole mic system set up.
Gotcha.
So I was literally... My camera was on a tripod, very far away. My name is Sarah. I'm reporting live from... I was literally shouting it as loud as I could because I knew how loud those cars would be behind me.
For sure.
And how my voice is.
Yeah.
So that's why I was,
You were cutting through, though. It sounded good.
I was.
Yeah.
So that was where I was. And I had 3 different utensils, kitchen utensils, because I wanted to crowdsource.
Sure.
I think I'm funny, but I don't know.
We always think we're funny.
And so I went into this place and I asked their kitchen staff and the people who were working at their counter, and I had a whisk, I had a silicone spatula, and I had that soup ladle. And I went in there and I kept going up to people and I said, "What's a funnier microphone to talk into?" And as I did that, people were losing their mind and they started yelling at each other, and they're like, no, it's the whisk. Look at that whisk. That's freaking hilarious. Like, people were like
Causing commotion in Clean Eats.
They were, and they were like their arguments and their rationalization for why they were picking that was funnier than me even having any of them. So,
I love that.
And the soup ladle one, but if you notice in the second one, when I went to Nicole's house, she gave me, that was actually the rolling pin that she makes all of her pies with, which was very intimidating to hold and to not drop.
That's a powerful rolling pin right there.
What's even worse
and
is
not drop.
If you watch the video, do you realize how low you have to hold a
Oh,
rolling
dude,
pin?
and it's heavy. If you guys have ever held, if you guys have ever held a rolling pin, like they're heavy. So when you're holding on, and the handles roll, so the handle is
like
a little jiggly.
It's like down by my stomach.
They're big.
Yeah. So
like,
if it was, this is the this back scratcher has come in very handy for this. So it was very awkward for her neighbors as I was like, let me. That's good. Just gonna put that back there. That's touch something.
And you're right. It's a oh my god. Actually, I got this. I got this, and I got it like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. It showed up. I was like, cool. I've got this. I set it down on like this little holder, and it disappeared for 2 years. I found it the other day. I've never used it.
Classic.
Like it disappeared, and I go, I did somebody take it? Like, was there somebody here on a Friday night? And they're like, oh, cool, that's pretty cool. And then they set it down, and somebody's like, hey, man, you forgot this, and they took. I have no idea. I thought it was a casualty of war. As it's gone, and we're moving stuff around. We're getting ready to set up. We move the couch, and there it is. And I go, ah, fantastic. So then I get to let go of all the guilt and anger that I felt that somebody stole my bear claw back scratcher that I didn't even get to
It
use
is a bear
yet.
claw.
But it is.
It's a little bear claw.
Ah.
There are times that I've lost things like that. What I like to say is I've given it to the universe.
Yeah.
Because the way that I see it is if it's meant to come back to me, it's going to come back to me. And so I feel like an ET moment.
I like how big this is. This is
like
like a Bob Barker.
That's what I'm saying. It was... And the price is right. What does he say? I just think of the music.
What does Bob Barker? What is his thing?
Neuter your dogs and cats.
That's right.
Spay and neuter.
Spay and neuter.
Spay and neuter your dogs
Spay and neuter your dogs and cats. Don't get your cats declawed. It's inhumane. It's catanimous. Don't do that. They're not humans, but they're kind of. No, I don't know. Spay and neuter your pets. Yes, that's right. That's Cole Watson on top of it, man. So the resounding answer. What was the most popular answer you got from the ladle, from the whisk, and what was the other one?
The silicone spatula.
The silicone spatula.
And honestly, I do feel like it was a toss-up between the whisk and the spatula, but then it was when my friend Misty had taken it into the back to ask the owner.
Sure.
And she said they had a really good answer, because remember, the people out front, they were kind of just bantering about what was funniest.
Yeah.
But when they came out from the back, they were saying that the whisk wouldn't show up on camera as well because I was wearing a black shirt.
It's kind of see-through and it's very thin.
That's a great point, because I'm wearing a black shirt with some designs on it. If I'm holding it up, if I'm not holding it up at the right angle. But that's that.
The light has to reflect off to you can see it.
Is a metal dome, and then it's kind of silly as I turn that you think it's a microphone, but then I turn and you're like, it's a soup ladle.
And immediately people are immediately going to assume that it's a microphone. They're not even. They're just. Their brain's going to fill in that empty spot. They're going to be watching you, and then if they take a second and take a beat and take a step back, they'll be like, "What?" And then you turn.
I did realize that where I had set up, because again, this was the first one I had filmed.
Sure.
I was a little nervous. The location was a little weird. I didn't have the microphone yet. I was just trying to have proof of concept for
Sure.
you.
Yeah, it
of
worked.
the skit
Oh, it was awesome.
And do this. But where I was set up, I didn't want to be right in the middle of the road. And
Right.
so I was set up kind of right outside of their side
you
door.
did. You did get the
Clean Eats.
name on it.
That's
That
why I
was
wanted so
brilliant.
you could see their name on
Yeah.
it. But where I was set up was kind of right, not their front door, but their main side door where the parking is.
Okay.
And so as I'm filming this and I'm doing multiple takes and I'm doing this, as I do one of the takes, someone getting takeout, somebody had just ordered food and then they're coming out, but they don't want to cross in front of my camera.
Sure.
And so they like dive through landscaping. And
Oh my
I was trying to kind of like roll with them in case they cut in front. And so I was like, and here someone's taking out some delicious food. And they just beamed it through the
go
landscape.
behind
Like,
the camera.
No, don't include me.
Right
in
through the
this."
bushes. They're like, I don't want to have anything to do
They
with
really
this.
thought that I was like live streaming.
Oh
this.
man,
I felt so bad.
I wonder if that person was like, they had told their significant other something completely different. They're like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm
I
out
was
of
gonna
town.
catch
They're
their
like,
alibi.
yeah, you're gonna cut off some random video, some random group is playing. They're like, oh, we're gonna pull the thread on this, and it like unveils this huge thing, and they're like, they're just diving through the bushes. You're like, it's not that big
I
of a
know.
deal.
I'm like, why are
What are you doing? It's like cartwheeling over things, like the floor is lava.
It was a very quick, like, don't make eye contact. Don't. I think because people assume that I was going to be like, hey, name 3 of your favorite.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
There's
yeah.
going to be
They
some
don't wanna be
weird,
involved.
like, sidewalk
Yeah, yeah,
trivia.
no.
Like, they're like, not today.
No,
like,
not today. I'm just here to get my drinks. I'm not trying to be bothered by anybody. That's right. They Homer Simpson it right into the bush. Spay and neuter your pets. That is true. That is true. That's a those clips are great, man. I really like those. They're awesome.
More to
and
come.
like the voice that you use is fantastic. And I love Nicole. Every time I see her, she's just the cutest little bundle of joy ever. You know, pies.
Well, what's even funnier about this bit is because the couple that I shouted out earlier,
Sure.
Mark and Amber, they had a photo booth, which is very customary at many weddings. I've seen a lot of photo booths, and you have little props, and I'm just going to keep using because it's good for every prop.
Sure.
So you have like your little photo booth prop and everything. And so we get there, and there's an attendant who is teaching us how to use this photo booth, which I thought was very great because some people, you know, they're not very tech savvy. They're hitting
Right.
buttons, they're emailing themselves or whatever.
They're hitting buttons.
And so this woman not only tells us that it's a photo booth, but then she starts out by saying, do you want to record a little something?
Okay.
Like record a little video
Okay.
for the couple.
Sure, I get that.
Now we have a slew of follow-up questions.
Oh no.
Are we addressing the couple? Are we addressing everyone?
Yeah.
Who are we talking? Are we saying something private?
Who's our
like,
target
I wish
audience?
I wish you, love and like what are we saying? But she didn't like really have time for this many questions. She's just like, oh, you say it to them, you're good, and she hits the button to start counting down. So Jordan's face kind of goes white, and I go.
You're ready to go.
I go right into.
Of course you do.
We're reporting live from Amber and Mark's wedding, and the guests are having mixed reviews about the photo booth here. And what's your take on it, sir? And I hand over to Jordan. It was priceless to watch the look on his face of him kind of melting down, like, why are you doing this?
What are you doing?
It was so perfect.
That's and now again, you guys have been dating for going on 4 years.
Yeah.
You've lived together since February. Now this is an aspect of your personality. Clearly he finds it adorable. Clearly he does. Do you still find ways that you continuously are able to surprise him? Like did you think he seemed surprised when you did that? Where he was like, or was he like, no, I had a feeling this was going to happen?
There was genuine surprise because
Sure.
I think that he knows that I would want to do all of these things.
Okay.
He just thinks that I would reserve. He thinks that I would be more reserved and not do it publicly.
Okay,
And
okay.
then when I do it publicly, the cringe takes over on him, and he just acknowledges that he can't escape this choice
Can't
that
get
he's
away
made.
from it.
And it's just if I'm not gonna be punny, then I'm just gonna cringe. And yeah, this
worked.
is the real deal, right?
Oh yeah, this is it. It worked, and you got him. And what was his response when you?
I kind of want to pull up the video.
Yeah,
because
send
I
me
do
the
have
link.
it.
It's
I can-
fantastic.
What's the best way to just your email?
Oh yeah, pop it in Facebook.
I got you.
And then I'll click the link and we'll bring it up live. This is
Rock and a roll.
let me bring this up real quick. This is so this is the Atlas Obscura link that Kyle posted in the chat. So make sure you check this out real quick. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Bring this bad boy up. So Atlas Obscura and Delta released fun video promo for Orlando. They did. They absolutely did. And this is one of there's Sarah Shoulak right there. You could tell by the gold hat. It's a me. What was that? Is that what is that you're drinking right there? That looks fantastic.
That was a mocktail that was made in another. It was actually another scene of this video that never got aired.
Gotcha.
Because we were in that new Pizza concept where
Sure.
the people from Pig Floyd's made a pizza concept called Pizza.
Okay.
And we were there having lunch, and we were totally rained out. You can see all the rain on the patio.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
absolutely pouring. We couldn't do any shooting because these people were not from Florida, as I've mentioned.
Yeah.
And they had us
Texas, right?
Yeah, Austin. And they
Gotcha.
were doing the voiceover stuff in the morning and then had the afternoon for filming, and we got rained out of everything. Where if they would have asked me, I would have said,
Yeah.
you should really flip this so we can
Yeah,
actually
yeah, because
shoot
it's Florida.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Do voiceovers in the afternoon when it's rainy. And so we got stranded, and we were kind of awkwardly there for too
Sure.
long. And so we said, well, let's have a little scene where she's walking in here and we're making there was a whole scene that we had filmed. Bartender signed a waiver and everything. The poor girl, she was like in on it, and she didn't
She's
even
like
get
so
shown.
excited.
But her drink is there. So shout out to the bartender at Big
Good
Stuff.
slices on
She
the
was great.
limes.
Yeah.
I gotta say, good slices
I
on
think
the
those
limes.
are cucumbers.
Really? Oh, I do love
It
cucumbers.
was like a take on a something like that.
Because it almost looks like
No, you-
it
actually,
looks
I
like
think you're right,
almost
it's
looks
a
like a
mule.
mojito. What is
I
it?
think it was a mule.
A mule?
A virgin
Ooh,
mule.
a virgin
yeah.
mule. I do love mules.
I'm trying to think of who this person was.
So we're just going through this, scrolling through. As part of its ongoing Skylines Decoded video spotlights, the video features local artist Sarah Shoulak Instagram website wandering through Mills 50 neighborhood, exploring some local public art installations, including Dadala piece on the side of Will's Pub and the OG Runners mural at Track Shack, Lake Eola Park, and Linton E. Allen Memorial Foundation. The Sea Art Orlando and the Japanese Ting Pagoda installations get the most love, though. Watch the video below, which, of course, we have that video as well. which is super, super cool. And let me go ahead and grab that. Bum, bum, ba, da, ba, 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 da, boo. We're going to grab that link that we're chatting about as well. Man, you're just busy. I love it.
I am doing a little of everything. And if you do follow me online, I'm trying to do a lot more actual graphic design and doodles and things.
Okay.
So you will see some real art out there too, because I know it's a lot of my face. But then if it's my face talking about how I'm an artist, I like to have some real art to back it up. That like you go to my page and there's actually art there. So yeah, a little of everything.
A little of everything.
And
There
then
we go.
that's the
Sent the
primo.
video. Boom. Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
All right, give me a
She
second.
gave me a microphone.
Let me see if we can open this bad boy up. All right.
Look at his face.
Oh, man. Jordan.
Like, you are not doing this.
Dude, I love this. This is fantastic. Let me make sure there's some slick audio here. Oh, yeah, we definitely got it. Here we go. Oh, this is fantastic. We're going to share this tab instead.
Shout out Amber and Mark.
Okay, beautiful. Here we go. So this is a video that at the reception, they're capturing the people that are joining
First one
it
that was taken of the night.
to say hello, to congratulate them. Hey, Mark. Hey,
Yeah,
Amber. How are you guys? Hope you guys having a great time. We love
Yay.
you. Good luck forever. We'll see you in your
That's what it was
25th and your
supposed to be.
50th. Gotcha. But instead, not instead, but kind of instead. Instead, we
This is my version
We
of
have
that.
this one.
This just in, reporting live from the Amber and Mark wedding. It does appear that people are starting to arrive, and they are very uncomfortable about the photo booth. Take Exhibit A here. Sir, how do you feel about the photo booth?
I like Amber and Mark.
You guys are nerds, and we hope you have a wonderful life together. Thank you, and back to you. This just in, reporting live
Jordan
from the
does
Amber
not
and
know
Mark
what
wedding.
to
It
do.
does appear that people are.
He has like that permanent smile, just like smattered.
He's
just
like, you're ruining it for them. I'm smiling, but you're ruining it for them.
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. I like how you asked him, and he's like,
Exhibit A.
yeah, congratulations to Mark and Amber. I don't know what to do right now. Do you think he's getting used to it? Is he used to your shenanigans?
I think he knows what to expect
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this the other night because we went to a banquet and there were these formal photos, and we took a photo, and then the photographer says, "Any other poses?" And Jordan is not much of like a photo shoot kind of guy. So then my brain is racked, and I'm like, we have to get some other poses.
We have to have
we
poses.
We have to have other things. And I realized that the only other pose that we do is that I jump into his arms. And he'll catch me. That's our other pose. But
I
I
love it.
happen to be wearing a very short skirt. So I was like,
Gotcha.
can't do that one. But
Yeah.
that's our other go-to. So, yeah. So now we
What
have
did
to
you
have a
wind up
repertoire.
doing? What was your?
I was
your?
like, I think we're good for this one.
Gotcha.
Because
You're
we're
like, no,
we
it's
gotta
okay.
love this. We can't
Yeah.
rush perfection.
See, and that's what I'm talking about right there. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And if you're not ready to go and you're 100%, do what Sarah did. She's like, next time.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Listen,
One and done.
don't half-ass anything. Whole-ass everything that you do. I like Amber and Mark.
I like Amber and Mark.
He's like, it's like in Talladega Nights. I don't know what to do with my hands.
I mean, you can see the
I don't know what to
meltdown. Like,
do.
we could almost do a frame by frame with him where it is just like you can see the shock on his face. Like when. Okay, yeah. So take
Let's
us
see, we're-
back.
we're going- oh, let's go a little
take us
further back.
So it starts with him thinking that this is gonna be okay, and then he like realizes that I'm doing this, and then he's like,
Like,
she's so
okay.
funny, and then he starts to
Yeah.
eye roll.
He's
This
like,
is like
oh, man.
like she's really taking this over.
Oh, this is
And
cringy.
then
Back to
I'm
the
still
smile.
smiling. And then he's like trying to glare at me through the he's like, if you see, and then I'm like, well, Exhibit A, sir.
I
And this
feel
is
like
where he's dying inside.
I was about to say, I feel like he's looking at somebody off camera, going, "I'm sorry."
It's his coworkers,
really
who
sorry.
he's now embarrassed in front of as
Now,
well.
now he's looking at the camera like he's saying to the camera person, "I'm sorry. I really."
And remember, there's no person. It's literally a photo booth.
Nice. He's
It's
looking
an
at
iPad.
everybody watching this, going, "I'm sorry."
He's
I'm
sending
really
help with his
sorry."
eyes. His
Okay,
eyes are
he's
doing
back.
Morse code.
He's back.
Well, because I'm engaging him.
Yeah.
And priceless.
It almost looks like there's a touch of fury there. He's like, "You did
He's
it."
like, he's like, it's about Amber and Mark.
It's-
And that's why he brings it back.
So these, I like Amber and Mark. Dude, this,
I like turtles.
bingo. That's absolutely perfect. I mean, clearly, dude, look at your face. Now, could you guys see yourselves in frame? Was there like some way for you to see what you were doing?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
So when
I-
he's looking in, he's
Yeah.
probably looking into his own soul, going,
Yeah.
"This is my
It's
choice.
like,
This is what I've done."
This is the culmination of the choices I have made. I like it. And
turtles.
so it looks like a ring light, and there's just an iPad set up in the middle of the ring light.
Bingo.
Nice. That's pretty tight, though. That's a good idea.
There's
That's
many of them out right now, and some of them, even the one that we had, it'll
Back to
print-
smiling? He's
it'll
like, "Thank God
print
that's
the-
over."
The little.
Oh,
strip of-
really?
Yep. So that when you do the photo, so not
Yeah.
the video, but yeah.
Yeah. Man, he's back. He's like, "Okay, I'm done. I don't have to say anything
You can
else."
see the urge in his eyes to be like, wrap this up.
Yeah, let's go. Like, we're ready to go. And you're ready. You're just on top of it. And he's He's such
He's
a
along
good
for the
sport.
ride. He's really along for
Dude,
the
there
ride.
it is right
Yeah.
there. The classic hand to the ear right
Back
there.
to you. Who
Back
am
to you
I
in the
talking
studio.
to? This predates the videos we made for Kitchen Killers. This was the inspiration for those videos. I'm like, oh, I've got it. I've already tested it out. Because afterwards, when I go off screen here,
Jordan.
his coworkers then asked me, where were you a journalist?
Yeah.
Like, did you study journalism? Like, when
yeah.
did you want to be
Absolutely.
a newscaster?
Absolutely.
like,
No,
I've done this.
100%. Oh, and I got to say, what a good sport. He's just looking at the camera like, I'm really sorry, guys.
Yeah.
What were you using? Oh, it was a microphone.
They really
okay.
gave me a mic. It was real.
Okay, that was a real microphone.
It was hot.
Fantastic. I was like, what kind of kitchen utensil did you use here? I'm going to end it right there.
Look
That
at
just
that
looks
gem.
fantastic.
Look at that.
I love it.
What a
Jordan, thank
stud.
you for being such a sport, dude. Thank you for being such a sportsman. Such a sport. Yes, I like turtles. I'm dead. I've had enough of your shenanigans, Sarah.
Oh, the number of times I've heard that.
I don't think the shenanigans are going anywhere anytime soon. So what do you got coming up? What are you working on? What's new and exciting before we wrap tonight? You always got something in the fire.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the graphic design is where
Yeah.
I'm pouring my energy right now and trying to do more mock-ups of if I did a mural or
Yeah.
things that exemplify my style so that when people do reach out to me and say, I want this piece or I want that, they have a better idea of who I am versus just somebody who does a lot of replication, which is what I've been known for a long time, that I can look at anything and kind of recreate it or recreate some element of it, which helps for cosplay.
Yeah.
So definitely taking the holiday season, a whole month of December. I'm actually not going home to Minnesota. So I was thinking what you were talking about with your sister and how that can impact the family. And I kind of had to rip that Band-Aid off my family as well and say, I'm not going to make that trek. Because I've just been every month since August. I think I've had one, if not two trips. So I kind of needed this breath because I have 2 trips again in January. And I was like, listen, fam, like it's not like you haven't seen me. I saw you in August and October. So I kind of just need this. We can do a remote Christmas. We're figuring out what that looks
Yeah.
like and how that's still fun. My brothers are talking about like a video game marathon. So there's definitely still like energy and love. I'm not trying to ruin Christmas. I'm just trying to like have some peace because
Sure.
traveling during the holidays and then to travel around Thanksgiving and travel around
Yeah.
Christmas is like I kind of need.
It's a lot. It'll empty your batteries real fast.
And bank accounts. It's
Especially
just
the
a lot
fact
of
that you set foot inside Atlanta. Like the moment you set foot inside the Atlanta airport, like, yo, that's a real place. Like Atlanta is. I mean,
was
it's
serious.
it's one of, if not the biggest hub in Northern America.
And coming back down from from DC, what I didn't realize is you're just kind of in this like lurching because the flights are so short, honestly. Where when I go to Minnesota, it's like 3.5 hours, and you're up
Yeah.
for a while, and I can nap for a while.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, it's like, or DC to Atlanta was like, hey, we're up, now we're starting our descent. Hey, we're up, now we're starting
Yeah.
our descent. And it's just, I want to be settled and not go, go, go.
Yeah, I did something we did something very similar for a red carpet that the great Commodore and I had in Pennsylvania, where we landed in Harrisburg, but we had to leave Harrisburg. First it was Atlanta, then it was Harrisburg, and it was a little puddle jumper to another location. Actually, I think it
Did
was
somebody get out and take the propeller
Oh,
and like start
man.
it up for you?
Yeah, it was Orlando to Atlanta, Atlanta to Pittsburgh, I think, and then Pittsburgh to Harrisburg maybe. And Harrisburg was a very small airport, so we had to get off at the big airport, get on a little
Yep.
and land.
Yep.
So on the way back, we got on the and by the time you got buckled in, you got your food, you got your headphones on, we're landing. Time to land, and you're like
put your tray up.
okay, fantastic. Which was kind of nice because it was like a school bus with wings. That was the scary one. But then
yeah.
the regular one from Pittsburgh to Atlanta, because we hubbed in Atlanta again. And then we had a 5-hour layover in Atlanta. So then we just ran around Atlanta for 5 hours. I actually found one of my buddies who was heading out. We were heading back.
Yeah.
And I posted, because it was me, Shelly, and the Commodore. And I said, oh, kicking in.
Who else is here? Yeah.
We're here at the pub, blah, blah, blah. So my friend Justin Grimes, who's also a musician, never even met him in person. We've known each other for years. He goes, where are you in the airport? And I'll go, we're here, but the Atlanta airport is massive.
Oh yeah, you'd be like 45 minutes from another terminal.
It is massive.
Depending on which one.
So I was like, dude, if the universe has it in them, we're gonna cross paths. But if
Yeah.
I leave now to find you and you leave, it's gonna take. I mean,
One
there's
has to stay, one
thousands
has
of
to-
people here.
yeah.
So we're like, cool, no problem. Wrote it off. It was close. We're walking to our gate. I look over, and Justin Grimes has a very significant silhouette, just the way he carries himself as a person. I look over and I go, that's definitely him. And he looks over and he picks up his hat and kind of waves to me. And we're probably 50 feet away from each other. And sure enough, there's Justin Grimes. I walk up, I'm like, no way, dude. I'm like, how rare. And we just ran around the Atlanta airport for 5 hours because they have the long walkways. The people
is.
movers
Now-
are massive.
Now you have that because it used to be that you always had to take those escalators down
Yeah.
and only take the trains, and that's why it was such a death wish.
Yeah.
If you were in the wrong terminal,
Oh,
or
you're
the
in
wrong
trouble.
spot, but
Yeah, you're
now
done.
you can run between them
Yeah.
as a person too.
Yeah, big people movers, huge.
yeah.
They have some in Orlando, and it especially at Universal, they have the people movers, but the ones in the Atlanta airport, they're like 100 yards. They're massive and they move quick. Like, don't play. Like Atlanta, you don't play. When you go there, you better be ready to rock and roll.
Minnesota has a lot of them, but that's just because people don't really like walking in that state, and so they literally have like
Different reasons.
There'll be like 7 of them in a row
Yeah.
just to walk you down the one hallway.
Man, so no traveling this Christmas. Good. That'll be
Yeah.
nice. I think
Well,
the
I get to
remote thing's
enjoy
going to be
my
really
tree,
great.
and
I
I
was
get
about
to-
to say, you get to enjoy your
Yeah,
palm
I did
Christmas
my
tree.
palm Christmas tree. It feels like
That's gonna be cool.
As much as it's kind of that pause year. I don't want to say an
Yeah.
off year or like the
Yeah.
end of the year with my
Definitely an
family.
evolution.
It's just the first year
Yeah.
of me and Jordan.
I was just
with
about to
this
say
one.
that,
Yeah.
and that's so important too. You know, that's so important, especially like, I don't know, you know, when you move in with each other, when you make that commitment to each other, it's one of those things that you realize pretty quickly if it was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And like, and you guys, we're adults now. You know, it's not like I'm 19 and you're 20, and we're like, we have no idea how to live on ourselves. We have
Right.
no clue. It's like when you're adults and move in with each other, like, cool, this is going to be awesome. You know, plus you already kind of know each other. You knew each other for years before you even moved in together. So you just moved in February. You're almost 4 years in. So you're 3 years in. You know, which
Well,
is
the
awesome.
pandemic, when we were coworkers, like I said, we were kind of like trying to
You're
not
right.
be obvious and get
Sure.
caught and go out to eat. So we ended up spending a lot of time just cooking meals at each other's houses with the
Gotcha.
mailbox kits.
Yeah, so you get
And
to know each other.
We were already kind of like hanging out at our houses
Yeah.
anyway, and I was spending a lot of nights there, which is how it evolved to maybe I should just stay.
Yeah.
Maybe I can move in. We can
Yeah.
stop, you know. It was bigger conversations because we both owned property, so it was
Right.
like whose house do we keep and whose
Yeah, I
do we
remember
sell.
talking about that for a little bit.
But
And-
yeah, and one of the things that I thought was most poignant or clairvoyant actually came from my younger brother when I was sharing with the family, because it did feel kind of like I have to tell you some bad news to the family
Right.
kind of thing, and like I want you to come from me and not in a text. I want
Right,
to tell
right,
you.
right.
And my little brother, he's 6 years younger than me, and he said every year it's a choice, it's a question, and every year you say yes, and
Yeah.
it's okay that this year you say that you need this. And I don't have the exact phrasing of how he said
Sure.
it, but it was more the meaning of what he said
Yeah.
that was just so appreciative in
perfect.
that moment that
Landed well.
I wasn't trying to be the Grinch, and I wasn't
Sure.
trying to take away something that I knew brought so much joy to my family, which is my presence.
Yeah, yeah, of
but
course.
if I need this, how do we still bring
Right.
that joy?
Yeah, yeah. How do we still match that? And how does everybody have a full heart? Because I'm not trying to like douse
Nope.
anybody's Christmas,
You
but I do need this. We can still share time together. We can do it remotely. People do it all
And
the time.
everybody can have their own. Maybe I was just talking to my older brother's girlfriend, and they just celebrated 9 years together. So talk
Wow,
about
that's
some
awesome.
like titans in the
Good job.
relationships. But I told her, I said I would love, because she's having some surgery. She's having a new hip. She's
Oh,
getting
wow.
new mechanics put in.
Oh, bionic.
Yeah, upgrading. And so she said she's going to be laid up. So she was especially looking forward to me coming up there. She's like, oh, come and visit because I'll be laid up. And I said, well, I want a hot cocoa date.
There you
and she's
go.
like, what? And I said, we just get hot cocoa
Yeah.
and go on Zoom together and
Yep.
we just chat and gossip or book club or whatever you want
I
to call
love
it.
that. That's a great
And
idea.
I want a hot cocoa date.
Yeah.
And that was like, so for each family member now I get to say, what does our Christmas look like for
Yeah.
us?
Yeah,
and
sure.
we get to celebrate together.
And
that way.
that's such a great step of evolution, because then you unlock the ability for people to be able to share that time with each other remotely and still have it be endearing and wonderful and memorable, which is great. Kyle joined us for Thanksgiving dinner. So we had him on a tripod. We had him on a tripod, but we FaceTimed him and we brought him in. So he was on a tripod and he was right at the corner of the table. He was engaging with
it.
everybody at the table. I was trying to feed him cranberry sauce.
Classic.
It was awesome, man. It was really good. And Kyle's very quiet, very calm soul anyway. So sometimes he would just be chilling. He's just relaxing.
Watching.
He's eating,
Yeah.
and like we're all eating, and we're just checking
I did
everything
that
out.
with the Thanksgiving ones
Yeah.
because I would always go for Christmas, but Thanksgiving is just a harder one. So now we normally spend
Yeah.
it with Jordan's family in Fort Myers because they're closer.
Sure.
But there was a Thanksgiving that I think I was ahead on a laptop.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you're able to do it. So it's like, I can't have you here in person, but we can have you here.
Right.
And it's like, yo, take what you can get, and especially when it comes to, again, your first Christmas with Jordan, you guys just moved in with each other. This is a special year.
Yeah.
This is special,
Yeah.
and I get that. And I love your palm Christmas tree. That's fantastic.
And then, like I said, lots of trips again in January. So in January, we have another wedding to go to down in Fort Myers.
Nice.
And then we will be going to Palm Springs.
Uh-oh.
Because Jordan has a conference out there for his work. And now that I work
Nice.
remote, I get to tag along.
And work.
So, yeah. So I will be
You gotta
working
love
remotely
that.
from
Palm
from the
Springs.
East, West Coast?
Oh, somebody's got to do it.
I mean, I volunteer as tribute.
I guess I'll do it. No problem. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this because I do want to wrap it with the Skylines Decoded video again.
yeah,
It's
sure.
just
Let's make
super
it happen.
cool. And I'm just like, this is, and plus, let me show this one more time.
And I just want to say, Cole, you will not hurt Jordan's feelings because I'm the one who said I like turtles.
Yeah.
And he looked exactly like that little kid when he did that.
Yo, I'm going to leave this up for 5 seconds. If somebody wants to take a snapshot and make
and,
some
like,
things.
Photoshop it. Just consider that an endorsement. He doesn't watch the show.
Okay, that's why he doesn't watch the show. This would be awesome. Oh, this would be like the Kevin James meme. The next thing you know, Jordan's just going to be everywhere.
Somebody make a T-shirt with this.
Oh
I
my
like
God, that's a
turtles.
great idea. So let me share this tab. Let's bring this up. This is the Atlas Obscura video that we've just been talking about. If you're flying on Delta, make sure you connect to the Wi-Fi and go ahead and review the cool things that they have, the projects that they're working along. They're partnering with Atlas Obscura. Make sure you click on that and tap on Orlando, and you
There's
are going
12
to see.
locations.
Oh, that's right, because there's like
This
a
is one
bunch.
of
There's
12.
Tennessee, and
Yeah.
there's like a bunch of New York.
There's Austin, Boston, Minneapolis. I was like beans, green, but Austin, Boston.
I was like, what other inns are out there in there?
I think that's it.
Austin, Boston, Minneapolis, Orlando. We got
Orlando.
New York, I imagine.
I'm pretty sure.
A little Los Angeles.
Mate.
Some Tennessee or Nashville? I wonder, because these are like, prim and proper places. I'm just going around the nation.
I know. I have it because I've sent it to myself.
I have sent it to myself.
Because when I found it, when it first leaked or launched or whatever, I was geeking out about it. So here are the
I
destinations.
would be geeking out too. That's super geeky.
Okay, are you ready for the 12?
I'm ready.
Atlanta, Austin, Boston, Detroit, Los Angeles, Miami, Minneapolis, New York, Orlando, Salt Lake City, shout out Michelle's fan.
All right.
San Fran, Seattle, and then that's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we are one in good company.
That's great company. Nice. And KALUOHS is representing the Southeast pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not down here.
Yeah,
They didn't
exactly.
do New Orleans. They didn't do.
No, this is it.
This is us.
I love it. Fantastic. Atlas Obscura Delta. Make sure you guys check that out. We'll go ahead and put the link in there as well. We've had Sarah on before, or KALUOHS. Shoulak. Sarah Shoulak, KALUOHS.
The one and only.
The one and
Whatever
only
you call me.
KALUOHS. Whatever. Just don't call me late for dinner. But it's always lovely to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. This is super, super cool. The last time we did this, we just full screen this, but I kind of like reaction shots. So we got ourselves down in the corner. Have you watched this have you watched it a couple times? Like, do you critique yourself? Do you not watch stuff like that? Like, how do you do it?
I think I watched it a few times when it first came out
Yeah.
because I was just in such awe and I
Yeah.
was so excited and I wanted to see
That's a great echelon, man.
which shots they actually put in there
Sure.
because like I said there were so many shots.
It was
the
a
whole
full day.
restaurant, it was the whole day.
Yeah.
And we tried to get. If you watch this, they talk a lot about the Asian inspiration and the Asian community in Orlando, and so they wanted a lot of B-roll of Mills 50. So there's other times we went into a whole other bakery, and they had me like buy something at the bakery, and
Gotcha.
so all of this that happened didn't make it in, didn't get included, because
Yeah.
it's the cutting room floor, right? So
That's how it
it
happens,
can
man.
only fit in this amount of time.
Like you said, if we'll shoot 8 hours, and it
Well,
has to be
and-
4 minutes.
And we did those shoots because we got rained out and that situation happened to us, but the finished result has to match those other locations I just listed.
Gotcha.
So they can't all of a sudden and now here we're talking to small businesses
Yeah,
and we're
no, it's not
shouting
gonna
out
work.
Spotlight because it doesn't really jive
Yeah.
with the point that they wanted this to. So I felt bad that the small business and the bartender and the people that we interacted with didn't make it in. But that's why I watched it so many times.
Yeah.
Was not because, especially, I hate to say like as the talent, but when you're sitting there and you're the actress, when you're on stage, you don't
Yeah.
see the angle. You just
Yeah,
have like
true.
a camera or a drone
Yeah,
like
you don't
floating
know.
around you,
Yeah,
and
sure.
then you get to see the
You don't see
finished
their
result of-
perspective. You're just the one sitting there
100%.
going,
I'm like, I'm just going here really nervously, like drawing on my tablet. I hope this looks right. Like I'm not even drawing real things.
I hope this looks real.
And then they turn and they want to see my notebook. I'm like, I'm glad I draw real things.
Yeah. It's just random
I'm
stuff.
just writing like
They're like, are you
expletives,
actually an
like,
artist? Yeah. How long is this
Yeah.
going to take? This is,
manifest out.
oh my God. They're like, hey, show us what you're doing. Oh God.
Never
Oh
mind.
God. Here you go. And they're like,
Just like two
we're
little
going to cut
stick
that.
figures.
We're not going to put that up there. No problem. But I'm glad it was good stuff. It was real stuff.
It was mostly real, but I was also when we did the voiceover again. I think we talked about it when it first came out that there was a lot that they were almost trying to get me to say,
Yeah.
kind of leading with the questions,
yeah.
and there were some where I just either didn't feel comfortable speaking on that, or
Yeah.
I just plainly said, "You're not going to like my answer to
Yeah.
this," or
You're not going to want to add
I,
this.
I don't think that I'm
Yeah.
the one to say what you want
Sure.
to say.
Yeah.
on
I know
that.
what you guys are going for. I'm not your girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just have a really unarticulate
Yeah.
response. And people talk good in places with the stuff there. All right, well, that one's trash. Next.
Next, skip, cut. We're not going to do that one. So you just skip over that. You're like,
hiccuping or
next.
Have a weird drawl
Yeah.
every time.
Oh my God. Next, please. Next. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. But it was a good shoot. The people were cool. Good team to work with.
There was only two guys. There
Nice.
was one who was kind of more of a producer guy, and then the other one was the video person. And so one was telling me kind of where to go and what to do, and then the other one was capturing it all.
Nice.
And so it was really small. We
Yeah.
were very nimble. It was just kind of me like rolling
Yeah,
around.
not
these
some
guys.
huge production. It was nice and easy.
Right, but then it's also kind of intimidating because you're like, I'm trusting this whole day. I'm just gonna like wander around these guys, like going into their hotel
Yeah.
room and like,
Yeah.
I just met you. This
I heard
is
that.
legit.
I hope Atlas Obscura is real.
Well, yeah. I mean, we had the interviews beforehand,
Sure.
but they weren't the team that I actually met there
Gotcha.
on site. And so the person who was kind of guiding me and like my little on my path with me the whole
Yeah, yeah,
time
yeah.
is suddenly not there anymore.
And you're like, hello?
And I'm just like
Okay.
meeting some downtown, like in the down lobby of the embassy.
Nothing to see here. Everything's fine. Everything's great.
Yeah.
But ultimately, good experience, fun time, and a great video.
And that's really, when you look at this finished product, one of the things that I'm just
Dude,
so
they
proud
knocked it out of the
is
park.
the logos. And, you
Yeah.
know, honestly, that I get to put this in my reel, and that's my face, and then down in the corner, that is Atlas Obscura and Delta's logos. And I'm just really
Yeah.
proud that I got to be a part of that because, like you said, there are all these other 11 locations that they want people to see the quirky little things. And in this video, there are things I didn't know about, and that
Right.
I literally did learn things by being part of this project.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm glad that we get to share it so many times
Yeah.
on this, and that I hope you guys enjoy it too.
Oh yeah, and again, I think the first time we talked about it, I was like Delta. You're like
Like
Delta.
Delta.
Then we watched the video and the Delta thing. I was like, dude, that is the coolest thing I've seen in a very, very long time. We're all so proud of you, Sarah. This is super, super cool, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, no more ados. Let's do it. Well, one more ado.
Look out your window. If you're lucky, you'll see green forest preserves and clear blue lakes spanning a horizon dotted with serious high-rises and whimsical recreations. On the city outskirts, there's Epcot's Spaceship Earth. And downtown, the skyscraper built on top of a skyscraper at 200 South
Skyscraper on
Orange.
skyscraper.
This is Orlando.
I've driven I-4 many
Beyond
times.
the theme parks and businesses, a different kind of showpiece draws you to an artistic oasis
Great
in the
shots.
middle of the city
Yeah.
with an international story of its own to tell. Welcome to Skylines Decoded.
Fantastic. That's when it gets real.
Yeah, it did.
Uh-oh.
To many, Orlando means theme parks. But when you go to Orlando proper, you do see that richness of local artists and entrepreneurs far outweigh the parks.
Touch the mural. Also a little gem.
I personally love to use the Mills 50 area as kind of a sketchbook. As a muralist, I tend to like to get into those back roads a little bit more and seek out that public art. And to me, that's taking inspiration from those who've gone before me. And I think that the more public art there is, the more engaged the community will be around it.
Take a jog. Take a lap.
Take a lap. I'm running with you, Jim.
This is Lake Eola Park, the centerpiece of Orlando's downtown.
Oh, it's gorgeous with great shots.
When you first enter Lake Eola Park, no matter what side of the lake you come in from, it's kind of hypnotic.
I'm already
You're
doing it
passing
right
all
now.
of these different sculptures, and they're incorporating movement and
I like how they
nature.
kept that in there. Nice ones.
It's right in the middle of the city. It's kind of like Orlando Central Park.
I kept making them take videos of the animals.
You're like, look.
Look at that guy.
I really wanted to do a mural focusing on Lake Eola for all of the
Should I
different
walk along?
architecture and
Right.
structure. I wanted it to be whimsical and
I know her.
playful and fun.
Wow.
What's so different about the Centennial Fountain is that it's this giant bulbous structure that comes up out of the water, and it's teal, and then when the lights go off and there's all these different colors happening and then water shooting up out of it, it almost looks like a little tiny greenhouse.
I don't know how else you describe that visually.
Yeah, no,
They're
that's-
like, describe it. I'm like, it's a no.
One of the pieces that
No, I can't
absolutely
unsee
stands
that.
out is the red Chinese ting, or as we locals call it, the pagoda.
The pagoda.
You walk up to it, you start to recognize more details in the architecture that is so strikingly different to everything else you see in Orlando.
As you get closer, you do start to see those little edges and how every single shingle on the roof has a pattern pressed into it.
It's a really powerful statement piece, And it's even more interesting to know its backstory and why it came here in the 80s. It was donated by Dr. Nelson Ying in 1987. It honors the sister city relationship with Guilin, which also has a lake with several pagodas of its own. This was a gift to the city. It was actually built in Shanghai and had to be disassembled, shipped to Orlando, and reassembled in the park.
I'm sitting on a.
When I go to Lake Eola, I love to take my sketchbook with me. Just sitting down and looking around, inspiration will strike
A lot
you.
of bird poop everywhere.
I was
right
about to
here.
say.
No one sits here.
No, nobody does this.
It was really
I think
hot. It was
Lake
also
Eola
cooking.
is the perfect
Yeah.
place for the
And
community
that
to
drone, that
gather
makes it seem
and
so
have that
serene, but it's
space
right in
to
your
share
face.
time and enjoy nature in one place that takes you away from all the hustle and bustle, to just sit and enjoy the outdoors.
Great production. Fantastic production.
Fun fact, that little ending monologue that's supposed to be this mic drop moment that is so impactful.
Yeah.
They actually had me figure that out right at the end.
Really?
After the whole day of voiceover, after the whole day of filming, after all the schlepping around, after all the madness with the rain, sitting on the bird poop, on the hefty bag, all that stuff. And now they're like, just summarize it all. And I'm like, I just like to go and I'm outdoors and I sit and enjoy nature. And
I
they're
like nature.
How about one more time?
Hi, Goose.
It was really, they could have figured out another time to do that part, but
Right then.
we brought it home.
Well, you're very good at bringing it home. You're very good. That's why you got tapped in the first place. You know, you're a mover and a shaker. You always got something new going on. I'm excited to hear about your adventures in December. What is it, November? So yeah, in December, if we did it another month from now, we'd be just after Christmas. Yeah, we got a Monday coming up in December. I know you're moving and grooving, so let me
I'll
know
be
your
here.
travel stuff, and
Yeah.
we'll work
as long
it
as
out.
they're not a bowl game, UCF.
It's
What? Go
but
Knights.
it's always great, right? It's always great having you. Love your energy, absolutely fantastic. We ran a little long tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We went over a lot of stuff. What we did for your holidays. What is your favorite? What is your go-to? We still haven't even talked. Let's end with this. What is your go-to Thanksgiving dish? What's your
So-
favorite?
So I am a sucker for stuffing in the same way that I'm a coleslaw snob. That it really has to be not too wet, not too dry.
I
That
agree.
perfect crunch, that perfect
Yeah.
blend of flavors. But I have recently found a new hyperfixation of Thanksgiving, which is the sweet potato casserole with pecans. And now Jordan's sister upgraded their sweet potato casserole with maple flavored marshmallows.
I didn't even know they made those.
I didn't either, and she brought 2 bags of them. She's just like throwing them out like Salt Bay, and it was epic. And so I had way too many scoops of that.
Maple flavored
Maple-flavored
marshmallows.
on top of sweet potato casserole with pecans. Can't get any better than that.
That sounds bad. I may have a new
I
favorite.
would take that over pumpkin pie any day, and that's almost sacrilegious to
Yeah.
say, because pumpkin pie is like the OG.
No, I
Yeah.
hear that. It'll always have a place in my heart and stomach. Pumpkin
Yep.
pie always will, but it's good. Pumpkin pie wants you.
There's a
It's
separate
polyamorous.
stomach, the way that there's like,
Yeah.
dinner and dessert. There's like a whole pumpkin.
You have a
pie
pumpkin pie
There's-
stomach,
Oh yeah.
a pumpkin pie pocket just in your body. Uh-oh.
Pies.
Shout out to Nicole. So this Friday, we have a fantastic show coming up. Nikki and Dean are hosting a Christmas cookie festival, which is going to be super cool. So we're sitting down with Nikki Surf the Lip Lippy. I've known Nikki Surf the Lip Lippy since 1998. We have been very, very good friends. It's been amazing to watch her grow and evolve as an incredible person and a surfer and a creator. She's been in the Cocoa Beach area for many, many years. I'm super excited to be able to hang out with Nikki and Dean. Nikki is a new mom. She just recently welcomed her first little baby into the world, which is absolutely fantastic. Nikki is such a great person, and I haven't met her as a mom yet, but I already know her mama vibes are going to be absolutely out of this world. So this Friday, we're going to be there at Christmas Cookie Festival. Before that, and it is open to the public. Before that, we are the public, our public, Kitchen Killers public.
Can't see his air quotes.
No, yeah, you can't see my air quotes, but they're there. But we are doing a classic Italian dinner before that, which I'm super excited for. Her last name is Sir Filippi. So she is super cool. She's a great creator. She's a great baker and a chef. Her good friend Sandy's going to be helping her out. We have an Italian dinner and then a Christmas cookie festival this Friday night, December 1st at 9:05. Be sure you check out that. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be super cool. I'm looking forward to it. We have a replay on Wednesday of our Patreon show, and then Friday we'll be live at 9:05 from Cocoa Beach with Nikki and Dean, and a Christmas cookie festival. I don't even know what that's going to look like, but it has inspired me. So December 15th, we're doing our 4th annual Coquito competition along with the Christmas cookie charcuterie challenge. It is going to be badass. Before we get going, Sarah, anything else you want to share with the people?
I like Amber and Mark.
I knew you were going to say that. pies. We'll talk to you guys soon. You guys stay out of trouble. Another community conversation with the lovely KALUOHS has wrapped. Thank you guys so much. If you're looking to work on your acquisitions and your acquisition look for a photo, make sure you reach out to KALUOHS and she can help you with your posing and your pearl necklaces. We'll talk to you guys soon. Stay out of trouble.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.